Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hello,
folks.
hello, hello.
Hello.
Metro Doc. Hi, eyeball. Eyeball Hoxes.
Hello, Eyeball.
Your new title, Eyeball.
Eyeball Hawks is here.
You do what with the boxes?
Yeah.
Neil's there,
Mike Kuipers.
having a
Neil's
very
been
late
there for
supper.
a while.
Tim Van Ram. That's about it, I think.
Oh, Tim's there?
Yeah.
Oh, not again.
I know.
But
Hi,
he has-
Mike.
But he hasn't
Mike
asked if you have
Kuipers.
your recorder on yet.
Nope. Oh. I'm glad you said something. I should probably open up that app.
Great to have RJ with us this week.
Yeah, very happy to be here. Yeah.
Speak for
Glad it
yourself.
worked out. Yeah, well, I'm happy.
Well, no, we're happy. I'm happy.
Give us a couple of hours. We'll see if we're happy or not.
If everyone else is happy, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to think, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
Why did I say yes to Jeff? So many women have said the same thing.
So many? Really?
So many. Because I've ruined their lives for them to be with anybody else.
Exactly.
I see.
Once you've been with Jeff, that's it. Like,
See what I did there? Huh?
Yeah.
That's the entire male half of the human race now being wiped away. We don't want to go with any of them ever again.
nice recovery there, Jeff.
Thank you. I try. Just ask anybody that knows me.
I don't know. You said you were popping up your Starlink the other night. I wondered if that was a euphemism for something.
I was actually talking about the Starlink.
Yes,
Not-
know.
Yeah. And so far, has it been hanging in there for y'all?
Very good.
Yeah, it's
Looking
looking
good.
good.
Sounding good.
Good.
Hi, Donna Rose.
Hello, Donna Rose.
Always nice to see some ladies in the chat room.
Tell me.
I'm sure you are a lady, Donna, but some of the other ones I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not sure they're guys. Most of them.
Yeah, that's the one to worry
Oh,
about.
we were going to show. Oh no, well, I won't show it now because we'll show it later. I was going to show a picture of the dog, Sam's dog, but
Yeah,
we'll wait.
so cute.
Yeah, that's a great picture.
Okay, so I need to share.
See it there.
I feel like I'm looking a bit pale and wan.
A little bit. A little bit. You've got that January. Oh
How's
my
that?
goodness!
Oh,
that's
now you look like you're in
that's
hell.
yeah.
You look like you're in
yeah,
hell.
Look a little
nothing.
warm.
Do nothing. Yeah.
You should maybe take your temperature, see if you have a fever. Okay.
I can adjust the hue here. Hello, Hugh.
Oh,
Hello,
Hugh.
Hugh.
Oh, yeah.
Here, Hugh. Let me adjust you.
Oh, my God. I just wanted to add a bit of colour to my face. That's not bad. 53. Okay, I remember that.
53.
Yeah.
Is that a setting?
53 hues.
Oh, Hughes. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see. Do I need to do anything with mine, or am I okay?
No, you look good.
Oh, you look very
Very
natural.
clear, and RJ
Okay.
looks excellent too.
Thank you.
Lovely. The view out the right side of my home is
Yes.
something. I don't know what's back there. Looks like fencing or something.
Isn't
You
this
look
the
like
pla-
you've made your bed for a change. Other than
I
that,
know.
you've now got a picture of it, which you just stick up
Yeah,
on
we
the
just stick up there. Yeah. Green
No,
screen.
that's really my bed. I thought
I will
about just
take your
doing
word for it, Jeff.
the curtain thing again. I thought, no, I should probably just get everything off the bed and move it up here. So you don't see it up here in the front part of
For
my
all the
house.
junkies.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
Just off camera.
But the guys haven't noticed you've got your slide out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be difficult to see really, but yeah, this area right behind me, the wood tone, normally you guys don't see that because this thing is usually, well, this thing is slid this way 17 inches, and And I
17 inches.
huh?
Yeah, that's impressive. Oh, hang on. Gosh, you guys are just too fast for me.
16 inches high.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Very impressive.
Jeff has to have 17 inches.
17 inches. I honestly
1
can
inch
say
more.
I wouldn't want to be anything near that. That would not be a good thing
Okay,
for
moving right
anybody.
along.
Right?
So, Jeff, did you put your recorder on?
I opened the app and I got all the routing set, but I didn't actually hit the record button. So now we are recording.
Oh, very good. Okay,
And
that's good.
now I'm recording on the interface as well. And I think we should be recording on, StreamYard. That's good. Now I'm going over toward Media Assets,
Yes.
and I'm going to find a media asset called Countdown. And I guess we're ready to go.
Sounds good.
I've
to
got a
me.
question for Ernest before you go.
Yes,
I want
need
to
grab a beer.
know, Ernest, if I said this, would it mean anything to you? In a handbag?
Was that Lady Bracknell?
Yes. You know, Liz, don't you?
I do. I love that play.
Oh, yeah. Hilarious.
What is that
That's
play?
very good. It's classic. It's
The
a classic.
Importance of Being Earnest by George Bernard Shaw.
There you go.
You guys are so learned.
We're so
And
much
worldly.
older than you are, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Ready when you are, Jeff.
All right. Well, I'm just making sure that I don't
No, I'm just saying.
put my
I'm
beer
not-
somewhere where I bump it.
No, I'm just ready. I'm just telling you.
Okay. Thank you. Good. Oh, okay. That's always a good thing for you to be ready, since you do so much of this.
Ready, ready.
Okay. Let me get the current show up and get the intro page. And is the intro still good for you, RJ? I didn't. Not a lot has
Thanks,
happened,
Tim. He
really.
does have his recorder on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Huntington Beach, current first officer on the Airbus A320 family in America.
I don't think anything has changed dramatically.
Hey, speaking of civil air, gosh darn it, we should have had you on last week.
That's
There was
right.
an airplane that kind of did a forced landing
Yeah.
in a field, and there was
Yeah.
a civil air patrol. Did you see that video?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought of you. Well,
Yeah. Oh,
after
perfect.
the fact.
Of course.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
better than in the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we know how all that goes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready, and I'm going to hit this little button here, and we'll start the show.
All right.
How are we going to do this again? We don't have the actual...
Thank you, Radio
intro.
Roger. I think it's what you're going to start
Yeah, so we don't even need to do that
with. Oh, we don't
thing
need
that
to
you're
do
about.
the countdown. Yeah, that's
Nope.
right. Okay.
All right.
All right. Have a good show, you guys.
Cheers,
Thank
Liz.
you.
Oh,
No, but
no.
I'm still going to
We're still
introduce
going to do
you.
our intros. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Come back, Liz. Come back.
I'm back.
Come back. Okay, so it's a little bit different here, and okay, we've just heard Radio Roger, and I go, thank you, Radio Roger. He's an award-winning TV and radio reporter, currently at the #1 all-news station in the nation, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in New York City. Welcome to the Airline Pilot Guy Show. It's an aviation podcast covering the latest in aviation news and answering your great feedback. I'm Captain Jeff, a former U.S. Air Force pilot and retired Delta Airlines captain. And joining us from his studio,
In Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire.
past it, professional photographer, former RAF, RAAF fighter pilot, retired Airbus A330, A340 captain for Virgin Atlantic Airways. It's Captain Nick.
Hi there, Jeff. Hi, everybody. Great to be back on the show as usual. Now, were you a kid in Memphis in Christmas 2003? And If so, did you miss some of your Christmas presents? Well, flight 647, same as our show number, for Federal Express, botched a crosswind landing into Memphis and broke the undercarriage, went roaring off the runway. The crew were all fine. They jumped out and ran away, but the aeroplane burnt to the ground. So if you didn't get your Christmas presents in 2003, well, that's very sad, but we now know who to blame.
Well, what about, I thought it was Santa Claus that brought the presents.
Well, he was obviously, he'd pass some of his business to
subcontracting.
FedEx. Yes,
they were just helping
That was
out.
the phrase I was looking for. Thank you, Liz.
All right. Well, that is kind of a sad story.
It is very sad.
Which they usually are, actually. Thank you, Captain Nick. All right, and also joining us from his home studio in Huntington Beach, California, current first officer on the Airbus A320 family at a major U.S. carrier, volunteer flight instructor and check pilot with the Civil Air Patrol. It's Ranjit Rajan, RJ.
Hello. How's everyone doing? I'm happy to be back here. It's been it's a new year now since I was back.
Yeah, it's been a while, so
Yeah, it
glad to
has.
see you again. Can't wait to catch up, RJ.
Absolutely.
And also joining us, last but not least, of course, from her studio in Toronto, it's a retired financier, aviation enthusiast, spreadsheet master, and our producer. It's Liz Piper.
Hi, everybody, from a snowy Toronto. It's been snowing here all day. Not very hard, but snowy.
A little chilly, I bet.
Just around freezing. Four below freezing. 4 below, Celsius.
Okay. In other words, it's cold.
4 below.
Yep.
That's enough to worry my browse monkeys.
We don't want that to happen, Nick. No.
Okay. I'm not sure
Have
what
a good
that
show,
means,
you guys.
but okay,
Cheers.
thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, Liz. All right, let's go ahead and get on with some aviation news.
Stand by for news.
Thank you, Paul Harvey. Let's see. Of course, I wasn't ready with my video, so let me hit present and share screen and window and... Now that's right. Yeah, thanks. I'll lead off with that. Where is the... Oh, here it is. Share. Okay. Okay, we're going to start off with this, an incident that occurred at Atlanta International Airport. Now, if you were listening to us live last week, actually, you didn't have to be there live, but we were recording live last week, and I got a message from Dana, Captain Dana, and he said, "Hey, look what's happening over here at the Atlanta International Airport right now." So we talked a little bit about it, but then said, I'm sure we'll be covering it on our next episode. And so here we are covering it on our next episode. And we have some video to kind of set up the situation here and see what happened. So without further ado, here we go. I think it's rolling.
Tower Delta 1334.
Go ahead.
How long are we looking at? We're literally within like 200 pounds of our fuel situation.
Okay, so what does that mean in time-wise?
Less than 5 minutes here, Delta 1334.
Okay, I should have set this up before I hit play. So you'll remember, what was it, about a little less than a week ago, the Southeast experienced a wintry event, a winter storm, and they got some snow and ice and cold temperatures. That's why I'm here in Florida, to stay away from all that. And the Atlanta airport was I think they had a ground stop for quite a while because of the gate capacity and, not being able to move the airplanes off the gates in in an efficient way, and then they all had to go to de-icing and all that, so everything was really backed up. So this is one of those periods of time that the operation was slowly coming back to life, and so these two jets are on a parallel taxiway waiting for takeoff on runway 9 left, the south runways, not the southernmost, but basically the two big south runways that are used in Atlanta. And so one of the jets, the second one actually in line, is saying, hey, we need to get going here because we only had 200 pounds, about 5 minutes. We need to be launched. Otherwise, we got to go back to the gate. And that's just such a big mess when you're having to go to the de-icing facility to get de-iced. And in this case, you'll see in the video that they, received what do they call it, type 1 to, knock all the precipitation and ice and snow and everything off the jet, but they also layered it on top of that with the type 4, which is the protective de-icing fluid. So we're at that point where they're asking the tower controller if she can do something to expedite their departure. So here we go. We're going to continue with the video.
You need to be airborne?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, bye.
Roger. It's our Delta 2668. We're ready to go.
Delta 2668, I'm going to ask you, well, stand by 1.
He's the first in line.
Op 3, Tower, did you copy that?
Hey, Tower, it's Ops 1 now in front of the brooms. Ops 3 might be busy, but I heard that. You got another departure you need to get out?
Yeah, I've got the second aircraft needs to be airborne in 5 minutes. I'm not sure if you guys are able to clear or not now.
Okay, stand by. Let me try to clear it for you. Stand by.
Hey, just as an aside, I know that guy, that voice in Ops 1. We used to ride the MARTA train together from somewhere in North Atlanta down to the airport. And he does it just about every day, but I didn't. But on occasion, I would actually get to talk with him about his job as Ops 1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, 2668. We don't have long either.
Yeah, I'm trying to get them off the runway.
Sure.
Okay, they're talking about 2668, scheduled to fly from Atlanta to Minneapolis. And then they had an issue during their
Hey, that's
takeoff.
2668. It looks like they're clearing out. You have line of weight 9 left, Mike 2.
Is that for Delta 2668?
Yes, number 1, 9 left, Mike 2, line of weight.
9 left, Mike 2, line up weight, Delta 2668.
Yep, 757, 300, the long
That's
one.
Ops 3, all equipment's off and on. Nothing, go ahead, show it open.
Op 3, thank you. The 2668 departure frequency is 3347, RNAV to Pickett. Runway 9 or left, clear for takeoff.
RNAV to Pickett, 9 left, Mike 2, clear for takeoff, 3347, Delta 2668.
Thanks. Last runway condition report I had was good.
Which was 5 hours ago.
The 1334 tower departure frequency is 3347. You can line up and wait 9 left, Mike 2 there.
All right, line up 9 left, Mike 2, and 3347, Delta 1334.
Okay, so 2668 is rolling down the runway. I have another video that I'll play that guy's talking about watching this thing go down the runway, and he's pretty excited. You'll see. And we continue to watch the jet go down the runway, and then all of a sudden you see the spoilers come up on the wings, and it slows down rather rapidly.
We're aborted.
The 2668, Roger. Do you require any assistance?
Stand by.
The 2668, depending on what it is, it's probably going to be a right turn off, just for your planning.
2668, roll a truck, please.
Okay, can I get the nature of the emergency?
I think we had an engine failure.
Okay.
Okay, and the trucks are
The
coming out.
1334.
No, not those trucks.
Tango,
Oh,
and
yes,
then,
they are the
left
right
runway.
ones.
Tango and then
Thought they
Mike,
were
Roger
snow
that, Delta
plows.
1334, no problem.
The 2668, it doesn't appear there's any fire or smoke. We've got the trucks coming.
Thank you.
Do you know which engine it is?
The right.
Yeah, we don't have a clear view from here. Op 3 headed that way? Op 3 tower.
Yeah, it's Ops 3.
Did you copy that?
Copy.
Okay, you have permission to access 9 or left there. Get on 9 or left if you need Op 3.
See on 9 left, officer, thank you.
And you said it was the right engine.
Right engine number 2.
Delta 1334, does that mean you have to go back to the gate, you think?
Yeah, we're going to have to go back to the gate. Where would you like to get situated, or just call ground and we'll figure out where they want us to go, Delta 1334?
Yeah, just hold position there. You're not in anybody's way. Let me coordinate.
All right.
That was the airplane that was second in line for takeoff. I was told to clear.
All right, we're going to stop right here, and you coordinate Delta 1334.
Delta 2668, we got a report from somebody at the south cargo that's de-icing, and they don't see that there appears to be any smoke or fire.
Roger.
Delta 1334, right turn Lima, then ground point 75. Fire chief, are you up?
Towers, Op 3.
Op 3, go ahead.
There's no visible smoke from my point.
Copy.
No visible smoke.
Up tower, negative, negative. There's flames coming out the back of engine number 2.
Another
Copy.
ops vehicle says there is flame.
Okay, we've got the R-5 off your right, and they're entering the runway now.
And tower, there is smoke coming from engine number 2 now.
Delta 2668, there's an R vehicle. He's entering the runway right behind you now.
You said there's fire coming out of the right engine?
Yes, that's what they're showing.
All right, we're going to evacuate on the runway.
Op 3, just confirm there is fire coming out of the right engine.
Flames coming out the back of the rear engine now. It's smoking. Number 2 engine.
Delta 2668, copy.
Atlanta Tower Fire Chief.
They might be
Fire
busy.
Chief.
Ready to complete the inspection for the emergency aircraft.
Okay, Fire Chief, it's Delta 2668. He's the aircraft that stopped on 9 left, Boeing 75300, with engine failure, number 2 engine on the right side.
Copy, boy.
Do we still have flames?
Failure on 9 left, Delta 2668. Fire Chief.
Our vehicles, can we get a confirmation? Is the fire put out on the right side?
We are evacuating on the runway.
Okay. Any ARF vehicles, can I get a confirmation? Is there a fire detected from the engine?
Atlanta Tower, R4 is just getting to the scene. It looks like the fire is extinguished. We do have passengers evacuating onto the runway toward November. We're going to get some other vehicles out here to assist with evacuation.
Thank you.
That's affirmative. They're coming right in front of the ARF truck.
Atlanta Tower Fire Chief.
Fire Chief, go ahead.
Fire Chief, holding short of 9 left at Dixie. Requesting permission to proceed onto runway.
Fire Chief, proceed on 9 left.
Fire Chief proceeding on 9 left. Fire Chief.
I guess that fire chief didn't get the memo that you don't call it Dixie anymore. It's got to be Delta.
What up here?
Op 0, ahead.
Yeah, we're going to show runway 9 right close at this time. 9 right is closed.
Op 0, roger. We're showing 9 left and 9 right close.
Atlanta Tower, truck 41 at runway 9 right, 27 left, requesting permission to cross.
Truck 41, roger. Cross 9 right, and you can proceed on to 9 left for the emergency aircraft.
Receive, truck 41 proceeding onto runway into November.
Ops 1, Tower, you up?
Ops 1's up.
Are you the one there with the brooms at 9 left and looks like Mike 18?
Yeah, I was with them. I kind of left them for a little while to come to the aircraft, but do you need us to go anywhere?
I'll tell you what, whatever ops vehicle or ops personnel is able, I know y'all got y'all's hands full with emergency down there, but if somebody's able to call the tower and on the landline and discuss with the supervisor about possibilities of focusing on 8 left, 8 right, they're looking to do that.
Okay, understand you want to try to get 8 left and 8 right back. We'll try to coordinate that, and I'll meet with the brooms.
Thank you.
Right, yeah.
All right. So they're showing a photo of all the slides on this very cartoonishly long 757-300. Yeah, so I think, yes, please. I think that everybody did a really good job there on this entire situation. Let me play this one, the other video. That is kind of, it's like one of those channels that you can tune into, I think on YouTube, whatever. I know Heathrow has one of these, and a lot of the big airports around the world where you can tune in, and they have cameras there on airplanes coming in for landing and airplanes taking off. And they had one going that day in Atlanta. And before I play the video, though, I just noticed, Steph, are you ready to join us?
Yeah,
there
I can join you guys.
Is.
Hi.
Hi, Steph. Welcome home.
Hello, Steph.
Good to see you.
Hey,
Hi,
AJ.
Steph.
How are you?
Good.
So,
Good.
so as you can see, we're in the midst of only covering the first news item.
I see that. All
abort.
good. That's okay because
in
my
Atlanta.
Evernote is being very slow to upload. So hopefully by the time.
Oh, that's unusual. Okay. So we're going to play the second video, and well, I'll have something to say once we get going with that. If you'll throw that in the on the stage, Liz, please. That's fine. I'm gonna move it to the next one here. Okay, and here we go. This is the video that Victor used in the VAS Aviation video, and kind of in picture-in-picture setup. But we did not hear the audio from that. Now we're going to hear Matt Cochran, the source of this video, and here we go.
Look at the green de-icing marks, and here comes a 757-300 Giraffe. Destination, I don't know. I'm too busy trying to keep everything dry. We are now receiving freezing rain. The snow appears to have dissipated, but the freezing rain has not. We might need to go subterranean because this is going to be a losing battle. But at least we can catch this giraffe off to destination unknown. My God, look at that snow blow. Holy shit. That's amazing. Oh my God.
I was excited.
Wow. Wow, I'm getting lens splatter now, I'm sure. Freezing rain lens splatter. You gonna rotate? Whoa, is he rejecting? He is rejecting! Oh, snap! An abortion!
If you thought he was excited before.
Yeah, and I just want to say right now, that is the improper use of the word abortion.
That is.
That's very not appropriate for this situation.
Yeah. Oh, man! Never seen that before. What's going on? Oh, so the abortion was due to a right engine failure. Oh, wow. Engine failure on its takeoff roll. It was almost out of town. Nobody can see anything. And here comes the ARF vehicle, of all things. Wow.
Another one. 2
ARF vehicles. As if things weren't already jammed up enough. I don't know the flight number. I wish I did now.
2668.
I will find out for you. Delta 2668 bound for
He heard me.
Minneapolis. Sorry if there's lens splatter. I really can't help it. I need to go subterranean.
Wouldn't be a good.
737 is
Would be a very
blocking my
good view of
it.
the
But
airport.
they're scrambling everybody now. What the hell is going on? Whoa, are they spraying it down with extinguisher?
Yeah.
What the damn it? That 737, of course, has to be in the way.
Damn 737s.
Yeah, always a problem.
It's always a 737.
Yeah.
2668, but you can see all the emergency vehicles out there. Where did he go? Oh, that's him right here. Just barely see it behind that 737. Are we evacuating? Oh my God, they're evacuating. Holy sh**. I see slides. Oh my God, of all the days for an evacuation.
Yeah. Show title.
Holy crap. I gotta get on the right frequency for this. Oh my God,
that's true.
they are evacuating.
Yeah, I think they already finished evacuating by this time.
I never caught an evacuation.
Well, it's a big day for Matt. Yeah.
Holy smokes, if only that stupid 737 wasn't in my way.
Famous words.
He hates that 737.
There are a lot of people that are in that group.
Yeah.
But if somebody's able to call the advisor about possibilities of focusing on
Okay, that's enough, I think. Yeah, so that was cool. It was nice that he happened to be there that day,
in the freezing rain.
videoing all this stuff in the freezing rain. I said, I don't know if you can hear me over the video audio, but he talked about he needed to go subterranean, but I'm thinking, I don't think you're going to get many good, pictures or video if you go underground.
I'm not sure that's what he really meant to say anyway. I'm confused. I don't know that he really picks his words correctly.
Yeah, there's quite a few words which
his word choices.
Yeah,
suspect.
his word choices could
good video.
Use some work.
Word choice suspect. Yes.
But it was kind of a neat. It was kind of cool to hear the excitement in his voice.
Oh yeah. I appreciate
this whole
his
situation.
enthusiasm.
Oh, okay. So we had a couple of videos regarding this situation, and so as we all know now, they rejected the takeoff at about 85 knots, and that's like right on the line of low speed abort regime. I almost said abortion regime, abort regime, and the high speed, regime, and so that's why they got stopped pretty darn quickly, actually. And there was some uncertainty about whether there was a fire or wasn't a fire. And I'm still not absolutely sure exactly what was going on there, but I don't know if you guys will agree or not, but I think that in this situation, a couple of things. And by the way, I have a YouTube video in our show notes, in addition to the others that we've already played. Captain Joe, who only is wearing only 3 stripes, so I'm kind of confused about that. But Captain Joe has a video channel and aviation channel, and he does a really good job of going over all of the things that happened in this incident. And he basically said, yeah, everybody did a really, really nice job here. And, especially that tower controller, she was really, really good at keeping everybody on that frequency aware of what was happening. She mentioned, hey, the trucks are now on the runway. They'll be there soon, and they're right behind you now. So they were keeping, because, we pilots up in the cockpit of this airplane are pointing, forward, and we can't see anything that's going on behind us. So I think that was very, very good. And she was also soliciting information from people on the south hangars where they had some de-icing activity going on, and asking them, hey, do you see anything on that right engine? Because from the tower, and it's a very tall tower, Atlanta International, but the angle from where she was looking out the window, the right engine was being blocked by the fuselage, and well, maybe that dang 737 too. I don't know, but no, it wasn't the the snow and everything else. So anyway, my analysis of this whole thing is that she did a really blank hot job of controlling the situation. I think the crew, at least on the radio, sounded very calm, cool, and collected. They didn't sound panicked. It didn't feel like everything was being rushed. They kind of used the information coming in from all these various sources, made the decision, okay, you're saying that there is, fire, there is smoke. Okay, we're evacuating on the runway. And so I think a job well done by this crew and everybody involved, except for maybe the fire chief, getting the information there, kind of blocking the communications for a good while, getting all the details about. I'm thinking, why is that important right now? That sounds like a record keeping kind of thing that he's doing while this is actually actively happening. What do you think, RJ?
I think he did he's probably trained really well in putting out fires, but not as well in terms of talking on the radio, especially, with other aircraft and all of that. And, I think like you said, the tower controller she did a great job controlling the chaos that was happening and making sure that everyone was informed and people were in the right place where they needed to be.
I agree.
Yeah.
Steph, anything to add?
No, I missed the beginning part of a lot of the communications there, so I don't have much to add on that. But I mean, certainly I've looked at a few of these things, and I agree with y'all's assessment. Well done.
Yeah. Captain Nick, you really never have anything to say, so I might just force you to say something.
I can miss this one if you prefer. You're the Atlanta experts.
No. I want to hear what you have. Your thoughts.
Well, from a point of view of coordinating the hassle in this appalling weather, I have to agree.
Okay, that's enough. You're wrong. You're wrong. Let's keep going.
Oh, yeah. You don't want me to agree with you.
No,
Okay. Well, I thought
I'm
that
just kidding.
controller could have helped the crew out a bit more. No, I'm kidding. Once the emergency had happened, that was fine. And what's more, I love the way she adopted the crew's sense of urgency when they realized they were getting really short of gas. And they needed to roll, which was fine. The only, and it's a small thing, but actually it's a really big thing. And so you'll understand what I mean when I say they've just taken the sweeping equipment off the runway, okay, and to let these guys roll. And the only braking action report they got was from her, which said the runway's good. That's not a braking action report the tower should ever give. Those terms are pilot reports that go out, and it's based on your landing and how the braking appeared to you. You can give a pilot report of a general feeling, but when you have just swept a runway and you're now opening it for use, you've cleared the equipment off, you're supposed to have braking action reports for each of the segments. Now, they may not have felt that they had time to do that, or perhaps there was one given earlier, I don't know. But for me, taking off on a contaminated runway is a big thing, particularly for this guy who rejected. Now, I've got airborne in similar blizzard conditions at a JFK, and I remember my captain saying, on this runway, because we're on a contaminated runway, we are not going to stop. We're going to go regardless. We're only going to stop if we physically can't get airborne, and then anything could happen because the runway is contaminated. Our braking action is so poor. We're a big, heavy airplane. We have no idea if we're going to be able to stop or not. If you've got braking action reports that indicate how well the runway has been cleared, then you have all that information available to you and work it out. If you don't, and you could see how bad the runway was from the amount of snow that was being kicked up, it was still pretty bad. So that's my only comment. Towers should be able to give braking action reports. Now, what things I loved about the way she handled this was she's so cool, wasn't she? Lovely tone to her voice, really on top of the situation. I love the way she made use of the people on the far side of the aircraft who could get a view of the engine that was affected and passing that information to the crew, vital information that they needed to decide whether they were going to evacuate or not. Because when you're quite right, Jeff, when you're sitting in that little enclosed space and you've only got a very limited view of the outside world, something that's happening behind you, the only thing you're getting now is on the radio. And if people, you're trying to judge on people's comments on how you're going to deal with this. Are you going to evacuate all these 200 odd passengers into filthy conditions outside, let alone all the dangers of going down the slides, etc. Which is a very, very big decision. Probably one of the biggest decisions any captain will ever have to make. I thought she gave the crew as good information as they were going to get. Yeah, I'm with RJ. I wasn't too impressed with some of the firemen on the radio, and they could have been a bit more descriptive. I've listened to emergencies with American crews in a burning aeroplane. The whole of the gear is going up in flames, and the fire chief is briefing the captain almost continuously on the state of the fire and whether they've got it under control or not. And it's really, really good. He is an expert at what he's doing. And in the end, they kept all the passengers on board, put the fire out, when a lot of captains would have gone, to hell with it, let's blow the slides, and everyone goes over the side. So I didn't feel that aspect of the emergency was quite as well controlled as I've heard it done in the past, with the fire chief coordinating with the captain and coming to a mutual decision as to whether an evacuation was appropriate or not. I felt sorry for the passengers, because you can imagine from that lovely warm environment, I'm sure there were a few people in flip-flops, but hopefully not too many, who went running out into the snow. I mean, that could be really difficult. Yeah. And I was a little bit worried. Oh, you want to say something, Jeff?
Oh, no. I just said dress to egress.
Yeah, dress to egress. Exactly. That was the point I was going to make. Thank you for bringing that up, Captain Nick. That, now in this case, they were going to Minneapolis, and so they probably weren't dressed for the Caribbean. But I have seen in my many years of flying, our passengers in the back, and Atlanta's just like this. Or you're taking off out of Minneapolis or Boston, and they're heading to the islands or whatever, and they're basically wearing their bathing suits and their flip-flops and everything else. I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be on you here when we abort the takeoff and you got to, emergency evacuate. Good luck with that. You're not going to be very comfortable out there. Good, point well made there. True.
The other thing I was just going to mention, and this isn't me flying a flag here, but I took a great deal of interest in one of our aircraft that landed in Gatwick Airport with an emergency. And they sat on the runway for a while until it was a cargo fire, until they had got enough information and they decided to evacuate the aircraft. By that time, the TV cameras were all there. The footage they got showed that along with the firefighting vehicles, because they were considering an evacuation, there were vehicles there with huge, great big illuminated signs that erected that were just for the passengers. It was their evacuation point, and it was this enormous thing like with big arrows going, come here, come here.
Oh, wow.
And so that all the passengers knew exactly where to go as soon as they came off the slides. They could see this damn great big sign. And they, of course, the firemen all knew as well. So passengers on the far side were being directed to come around away from the potential problem and make their way to this RV point that was created. And I just thought that was, wow, what a great idea.
That is great. Because they also kind of cycled the connecting flight information as well.
Yes. And also the telephone number of a number of lawyers that they might want to ring.
Yeah, the advertisement.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, well, that's how they fund these things, So, yeah, because they're quite expensive cars. Anyway, so, I just saw that there appeared to be an element of confusion but quite right to shut down both runways on that side, because people might be so frightened that they run all the way across that runway onto the next runway next door without realizing.
Right. They were going over toward taxiway November, which is the parallel taxiway between those two runways, and I'm sure they probably kept on going. So that was it was a good idea to think, let's
get as far away as possible. Oh wait,
this runway, because the 9 right is the landing runway in normal ops.
Yeah.
And good point about the braking action report. I'm thinking in this situation it is Atlanta, and there probably wasn't a heck of a lot of snow or ice on the runway, but I don't know. I wasn't there. Could be. I think that's what?
I was gonna say, you guys got more than we did. So just throw it here.
Yeah.
So,
well, not me.
By the way, did anyone see any luggage coming off?
That's the point I was just going to make. I was going to ask if you guys had talked about it. I had to respond to something here, but I thought it was a job well done. Very little luggage, if any. I think there was like a crossbody that someone had, and that was it. Yeah. So that was good.
I thought.
Yeah, we had damn 737 wasn't in the way. We'd be able to see it.
Yeah, that possibly, but well done, passengers of Atlanta. You came off without your bags. That's a really good job.
Yeah, that was I think it was a very kind of almost textbook event. And as you said, that's one of the hardest decisions you're going to make as a captain. Okay, do we evacuate or not? Because 100% for sure that somebody's going to get injured in an evacuation. In this case, I think it were only 4 passengers. I'm not sure how badly they were injured in this evacuation event. But, I mean, we've had instances where people have died during an evacuation. So that's something that's, in our minds as captains, like, okay, I know for sure that this is going to result in injuries. However, is it worse than, keeping everybody on board and then perhaps, losing a significant number of passengers? So you have to go with your gut, I guess, and all the information that you have that's being presented to you. And I think as we've said already, a lot of good information was being presented to them, and I think they did a pretty good job with it.
Most certainly, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, Liz is. Yes, you're Liz. I was very happy that I wasn't in Atlanta and I was down here in Florida, and I wasn't actually the captain for that flight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Oh, speaking of captain of the flight, we were talking about Captain Joe and his great YouTube channel and his analysis of this incident. I Haul Boxes mentions in our live audience, he says, Captain Joe is my FO. Now, I don't know if he's actually really your first officer, I Haul Boxes.
Or just because he's wearing 3 stripes.
Yeah, I mean, that's always, I've always loved Captain Joe's YouTube channel and his videos, but I've always thought, well, wait a minute. I mean, why is he calling himself a captain? It doesn't appear that he's actually a captain. Maybe he's just like future-proofing the YouTube channel. Maybe that's it. That's smart, actually. Oh, I think Nope is not actually really his first officer. He was trying to make I Haul Boxes, trying to be a comedian again. All right. Thank you.
But he does mention that nobody slipped off the Type 4 coated wings. And it's something I'd never considered until I saw that comment. The aircraft's just been, been sprayed with this glycol. It's all over the wings. And, of course, a significant number of people are coming out those 2 overwing exits, going across the wing and then down the slide. So I never thought of that as a potential threat or hazard. Now, I didn't get fast enough, Liz. Liz is asking if the stuff would have come off, but the sheer speed is probably faster than at the 85 knots they got to. So
I'm just wondering, what kind of laundry detergent would you have to use to get all that green out of your
off your clothes? I think maybe those clothes are just trash at that point.
They're done. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was great. Great incident. Great job by the crew and Tower and everybody involved there, and great job by all of us discussing it. So.
By the way, the fire, do you think there actually was a fire, or whether that was just a bit of fuel sitting in the bottom of the engine cooking off?
That's what I think.
Because when you pull the fire bottle, actually, they might not even got to that point, actually. They may have just pulled the throttle back on an engine failure, and they may be still running the sort of engine failure drill while they're sitting there. But there could be fuel pooling in the bottom of that engine that could ignite, because the thing's damn hot after going to full power for the takeoff, and that can just ignite. And it's not a huge danger to anything if you just get a little bit of fire burning at the bottom of the engine. It's very hard for a fireman to describe to the crew that he sees fire, but he doesn't think it's a problem. So, everyone learns from these situations.
Okay, we have some comments from our live audience from Tim Van Ram, a new way of going green. Thank you, Tim. We're going green.
Haven't played that for a while.
We're going to take care of the earth. We're going to take care of that wing, keep the ice off of it and all that. Yeah. And Peter, the innovator. Oh, he's very innovative. Slip and slide. Oh, yeah. Well, I think I might be able to find that. Let's see.
Okay, everybody, come outside. Everybody ready for a wild, wet ride?
Slip and slide.
This is great.
All right. Okay, come on. I'm ready. Let's
Keep
do
him
another
going.
one.
Keep him going.
Oh, no, that's it. Okay.
It's not really a go around situation, so we can't use that one here.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Sorry.
did you say go around?
I did.
I mean, I'll take any opportunity to play any of my sound clips. The one, though, I'm looking for right now for this next news item, I'm having trouble locating it.
Oh, I know which one you're looking for.
Where is it? Where is it? It's been a long time.
The
Oh,
robot
here we
vacuum
go.
cleaner. Yeah.
Oh, where'd they go?
It's our drone. Woo! Okay, that's fading out. And this is from TWZ.com. Is that? I thought it was TMZ. I guess TWZ is something else. What is TWZ? Anyway, this is where this was taken, this article. One of just two these are Canadian-made aircraft, Canadian Super Scoopers, CL-415s, taken out of the Palisades firefight by a drone. And so it seems that a drone was hovering around the restricted area around the fires in Los Angeles just a few days ago. And now it says here in the article that the drone strike punched a hole in the drone actually didn't punch a hole. I think the Super Scooper basically hit the drone, and that caused a major hole in the leading edge of the left wing there, and that's pretty significant. We're looking at the
that is pretty big
slide there, and so basically, not only did it take this airplane out, but it basically took all air operations off of this very serious situation in Los Angeles with all these fires raging for quite some time while they tried to make sure that it was safe for all of these airplanes to be flying over there, because some idiot decided that they were going to fly their drone. I don't know. They haven't been able to determine yet, as far as I know. I don't know. RJ, you're living in the area. I don't know if any of the local news have been covering this at all, and if they figured out
Unfortunately not. Not so much.
Who was flying that drone?
Yeah, I don't think they found out yet.
Yeah.
RJ does not have a drone. RJ does not have a drone. Yeah, that's right.
It's like,
let the record show I do not have a drone.
But wait a minute. Did you used to have a drone?
The correct answer to that is yes. But I got rid of it a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I think they said that they grounded all the aircraft from about 15 minutes to half an hour. Okay, so it wasn't as long as I thought. But still, I mean, this is pretty critical. I mean, the significant amount of time to prevent these firefighting activities by the aircraft out there, and people just not paying attention to the TFR, the temporary flight restricted area or restriction. What do you think?
It's not like the FAA don't go to a big effort to keep the apps that you can just put on your phone to keep them updated of this information, and it makes it very easy for you to access and confirm that you're safe to fly, and undoubtedly no one was safe to fly a drone over these fires at any time that they were active and being fought, because this is just your worst nightmare, isn't it? Some idiot comes along and damages one of the few Super Scoopers that can is one of the aircraft that can dip into the sea only 5 minutes away and come straight back to the fire. There are only two of them, and one of them was put out of action for several days while they repaired the problem, let alone the complete stopping of air activity over the fire. So I'm just furious with this idiot that broke all these regulations. I wouldn't care if they threw the book at him, quite honestly. because they can, and there's quite a bit about things they can do. You're okay there, Jeff? Yeah,
that was
somebody
not. There are some dogs here outside of my home, but those aren't the ones you were listening to, though. I think I'm the only one that can hear these dogs out here. That was somebody else's dogs in the background. RJ.
Yeah, that's right. She probably the mailman came, so got to protect the household.
So you being a drone pilot may have more information about this than I have, because I'm not a drone operator. Regarding the geo fencing or the geo restrictions that a lot of these drones have, where like if you try to fly it in an area that's too close to an airport or some kind of a restricted area, it knows that you can't legally be flown in that area. Now, does that apply for TFRs, temporary flight restrictions?
It does. And the current version of it does work with TFRs as well. It shows you any, whether you're close to an airport, whether you're close to a TFR, it does do it. Unfortunately, someone who, as Nick was saying, there's apps and all of that for people who want to know about when they should fly and when they shouldn't. But unfortunately, the problem is if someone goes to Walmart today and buys a cheap $150 drone, they could get up and go without having done any of the due diligence. That is the biggest problem, which I think everyone is facing with all these cheap drones. Now, I was just reading an article this morning about how DJI is saying that they are going to remove geofencing from their software, for whatever reason. So if that goes away, that's going to be a bigger problem. Yeah, that's not good at all.
Not good at all. And that bark that you may have heard there was one of the dogs in this.
It was also my dogs.
Harvest host.
They're all good dog here as well.
Let the dogs out.
I can make mine bark if you want me to.
Mine are still barking, so I might have to go find their bark collars here in a second.
So this Harvest Host location I'm located in Lithia, Florida, it has 2 spots for boondockers like myself, or mooch dockers, or whatever you want to call us. And the lady that was here before me, there are 2 spots, and the lady that was here before me was out doing some exploring or something like that in a truck camper, and she just came back, and so that's what the dogs are barking at outside, I think, her rig. I do have a video, Liz. I was just going to say, speaking of these super scoopers, we have a video that shows, it's pretty interesting, it's very short, regarding how these things work.
Once you've identified your scoop site and you're coming in, you go through your pre-pickup checklist. One of those items is probes down. Probes are down. The way the aircraft picks up water is it does not stop or suck it up. There's no vacuum. It scoops it, and it scoops it through what you see here.
Oh. Well, I clicked on that window.
It was
there.
short, yeah.
Yeah, a lot shorter than it should have been, actually. Yeah. Let me try that again.
Once you've identified your scoop site and you're coming in, you go through your pre-pickup checklist. One of those items is probes down. Probes are down. The way the aircraft picks up water is it does not stop or suck it up. There's no vacuum. It scoops it, and it scoops it through what you see here. 2 probes on either side of the keel of the aircraft, about the size of your hands put together. And as soon as you hit the water, they catch. You can feel that in the cockpit. You got to be ready for that catch with the yoke.
Right there. Get ready to add some powder. Now. Oh.
And the water begins filling almost immediately.
It takes the scooper 12 seconds to fill its tanks with 1,400 gallons of water, during which time the pilot has to maintain the plane's speed and direction.
Once the aircraft is full and the tanks are full, you retract the probes. There is a noticeable surge in the aircraft when those probes go up, get the aircraft back up to speed, and take off.
I don't know about you guys, but I thought that those scoops, I imagined in my mind that these scoops would be like huge things, but those are pretty really, tiny little
small
scoops.
Yeah, pretty impressive. I guess I mean, you've got an awful hard stuffed water coming in at, I guess, around 100 knots. That's a fair amount of pressure.
That's
so
true.
I guess
if you do the formulas and the physics.
Yeah, much larger. You're going to come maybe to a stop.
Might come out the top of the fuselage if it was too big. Yeah.
Nose down.
I feel like the small size might, Venturi effect might make it better with the smaller size as well. So there might be some science to it.
Clearly,
but I was going to mention that that looking at that hole in the wing, this idiot drone pilot, not only did they affect and endanger people on the ground who were desperate to have their fires put out, their homes saved, that if that had hit the perspex of a windshield, I think that'd be sitting in the cockpit now, that drone, and it could easily have taken out one of the pilots. So, that's the added. These people have one of the most dangerous flying jobs we can imagine, particularly the guys that do it all the time, guys and girls, and they're flying through lousy conditions, smoke-filled, really difficult flying conditions, lots of turbulence, etc., trying to get very low level to deliver their loads so the water or the retardant doesn't evaporate before it hits the ground, all this kind of stuff. To have, this sort of a problem in addition to everything else they face, I mean, I just shake my head with shame.
Yeah. And I was thinking, it was pretty close to being a prop strike with that drone too, and that would be potentially a lot more time down for the aircraft,
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. Okay, well, our thoughts and prayers go out to all those in the LA basin, especially the where all the fires are just raging still, and hopefully they'll get control of those things soon. And anyway, let's continue with item D. I know I'm skipping one there, so we just are kind of running out of time. Another darn 737. This from Aviation Herald. TUI Airlines Belgium Boeing 737-700 was flying from Malaga, Spain, or Malaga, I guess, Spain to Brussels. I think the last time I covered a news item with the city name Malaga. Malaga?
Malaga.
I mispronounced it. Malaga. See, I keep wanting to do that. Okay. I want to put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. They safely landed had safely landed and taxied to the gate. Passengers disembarked via the jet bridge. Sometime later, the nose gear collapsed. So the airline confirmed the nose gear collapsed while there were no passengers on board. There were no injuries. First technical checks showed no errors. The airline's not aware of any incorrect human action. So far, it cannot be told how the gear collapse happened. That's all we know.
Wow.
We have these pictures of this 737 kind of genuflecting.
Is this a new company that I haven't heard of, by the way? Belgium Boeing 737. Is that, as opposed to American Boeing? Are they trying to...
Yeah.
This is the Belgian Boeing company.
The Belgians thought, well, heck, those U.S. people aren't doing a very good job with their Boeings. Let's give it a try. This is a Belgian.
If this is a Belgian Boeing, I don't think they're doing a very good job either.
Well, no, they haven't figured out the nose gear system yet.
No,
you know what?
I'm just wondering
if there was an evacuation happening behind it, you could see it.
Yeah, very
That's
true.
Very true.
Yeah, that's what they've got. They've got gear that'll go down so that the photographers can view it over the top. I'm just wondering if there's someone who hasn't quite declared a firm landing on their post-flight reports.
No.
Do you think it's possible?
No, Nick, that's not possible.
Of course not.
Yeah. Okay, that hard landing, we'll just not say anything, and hopefully nobody will notice.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard, was it? Nah, of course not.
No. All right. Or, it could be a new mod. I think that RJ was kind of intimating that, that earlier aborted takeoff in Atlanta where the 737 was blocking the view of the camera. So maybe this is a new mod that they're experimenting with so that if that happens again in the future, the thing will kneel down and then they'll be able to have a better view. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's continue with E. An update from the Jeju the South Korean airline, the 737-800 that crashed in Muan, South Korea on December 29th. And basically this update is just telling us about the fact that they did recover both of the quote-unquote black boxes, the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorders. And then one of them, they were having trouble with some kind of connection. I think we talked about that on the last show. They sent it to Washington, D.C., to the NTSB labs, and they were not able to extract any information from 4 minutes before the airplane finally ended its fatal flight on the ground. And it seems almost coincident with the point at which they encountered the birds. They declared the emergency, and then we didn't hear anything else from them, and we didn't get anything recorded on the cockpit voice recorder nor the flight data recorder. And it's just like, oh, this is no good, because those are so essential in determining what happened and reconstructing the events of this, what led up to this terrible situation. And now we're all going, we have no idea. It looks like everything, the entire
certainly going to make
system.
the investigation more difficult, I would imagine.
It might be one of these kind of investigations, or that they basically say we don't really know for sure exactly what happened here.
Yeah, well, that'll be a shame, because we're all scratching our heads trying to work out what happened. Shout out to the 7.3 guys with manuals that could take a look. On my aircraft, the recorders all ran off essential buzzes. So they're the buzzes that were the last to lose power if you had a problem. So just almost purely to keep them working regardless of what had happened on the airplane to the last possible moment. So I'd be interested to know if a single engine failure, which side, could cause loss of power to the recorders, if you've got that in your manuals. I'd love
It
to know.
almost seems like they've lost every single bit of power and backup power, emergency power, everything. How does something like that happen? It just boggles my mind. I don't think that there's any way for that to happen.
Shouldn't be.
UH Blackhawk in our live audience says, some have claimed the pilots pulled the CBs, the circuit breakers, but there's no way they could do that on a go-around with an emergency. Now, something that I've also, and it may actually be in our feedback, so we can talk about it then perhaps, but when we were covering this after it happened, I guess on the last episode was the first time we talked about it, wasn't it? Or was it the episode before last? Probably a couple of episodes ago when we were first covering this. I was just thinking, and I think that Captain Nick kind of mentioned it as well, like, why not? Why did they do a go-around? If you have significant damage and you're not sure if you have enough thrust on the whatever power you have remaining to actually do a go-around and come back around and fly to the other side of the airport, I mean, why not just land straight ahead? Whatever you have, just put it on the ground. They were already configured. They were already landing gear down, and the flaps were already extended. In hindsight, of course, you have 20/20 vision, right? But
No, it's another question that we might have had answered if the recorders and the data were available, but we don't.
I think everybody was waiting for that to like, oh, okay, we're going to find out. We'll see what happened here. Oh no, we're not going to know now. Yeah, that's.
So I hope it won't remain. I hope they'll be able to get something out of something. But
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right. Should we continue? Okay.
Can I just go back to our firefighting thing for a moment, Jeff, and mention that if you're interested in a little bit more information about firefighting aircraft, I did a plain tale on it. The life-saving bombers, which was on show APG 509. So if you want to find out a little bit more about it, you could go listen to that.
That's another. Well, they're all great, but definitely a way to learn more about how the firefighting aircraft equipment works.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. F is a final bulletin from the Aviation Herald. Report one Boeing 747-400 freighter was flying from Muscat, Oman to London Heathrow, 4 crew on board. They landed on Heathrow's runway 27 left, taxied to the apron. A subsequent post-flight inspection revealed a panel was missing from the underside of the wing. The operator filed a mandatory occurrence report to the CAA. However, the report was not forwarded to the AAIB, the Air Accidents Investigation.
That's naughty.
Branch. Yeah, somebody's in trouble there.
CAA dropped the ball. Can't imagine them ever doing that.
I sense a little bit of sarcasm.
Yeah. Small amount.
Well, fast forward 2 months. On March 7th, 2024, the panel was found in the grass left of the touchdown area of the runway, and then the Air Accident Investigation Branch was informed. And the final bulletin basically just says the left wing panel detached from the aircraft after touchdown, most likely due to fatigue cracking of the supporting rib. Anyway, there was somebody out there probably with a lawnmower and hit the dang thing and went,
That's how you discover those. Oh, that wasn't right.
How big do you reckon that is? It looks several feet long and a couple of feet wide. What do you reckon?
I'm trying to see what that tape measure.
Yeah, so was I, and I tried to zoom it in, but unfortunately it pixelates too quickly. So
yeah, I don't know. That looks like
it's just that,
at least 3 feet long, maybe 3.5 feet long.
Yeah,
or like a meter long, and
it's just that there's a quote here that says the aircraft manufacturer's analysis indicated that the loss of such a wing panel in flight had an acceptably low probability of causing damage that would result in either injury or continued safe flight. Well, I can understand continued safe flight, but if I have a feeling that if that hit your head,
that would definitely
be bad. Yeah.
It could be bad. So I'm going, come on, guys. Yeah. There you go.
Well, of course they're going to say that. They're the ones that made it. And, it's supposed to stay on the airplane.
Exactly. Yeah, but this is part of the AAIB analysis. I mean, I think they're entitled to make their own analysis on how dangerous it is having bits fall off an airplane.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, which one, Liz? Next. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, we're gonna skip to I. Boeing 787 Dreamliner had an unfortunate event, a discharge on the ramp, and
sounds embarrassing.
I have not. I tried to turn the volume down on it. Let me make sure that it does have some spicy language. Oops.
We haven't got smell-o-vision on this one, have we?
No, thank goodness. No. I wouldn't be playing it if we had it. All right, ready? Right, here we go. This was something that I don't know if somebody sent this to me or I saw it on a social media site or whatever, but this is an Ethiopian 787 Dreamliner with a little issue with the lower GI tract. Okay, so you can turn the volume down. There's some spicy language.
Don't zoom in on the lumps. We don't want to see the lumps.
Yeah, wasn't that nice? God. Even airplanes have to go to the bathroom occasionally. Yeah. That is particularly concerning for me, being in this road vessel studio that has a black tank. You got to be careful. Got to be really careful. All right, I just wanted to show that. I thought that was kind of funny. And this, okay. So our last one in our news segment is this. It's another video, and it's from the New York Times, and it's involving a stray dog that climbed up on a very high object, a very tall object, an Egyptian pyramid. And then along came a paraglider with a camera. And so let's take a look at that. So he's zooming in. Let's see if we can turn the volume down a little bit. Did it again. Sorry.
Uh-oh. Wrong button.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm trying to get the little control. I know. It's this. I keep doing that. Okay, let me try this again. Apparently, I don't have control over the volume. There's a dog on top of the pyramid. An Egyptian pyramid. And it's like way up there at the top. Okay, I can't stand the sound, sorry. Yeah, so...
Do we know what kind of a dog it was? Was it a Pharaoh hound?
Yeah, take the video out. Yes, ma'am. It was a 448-foot tall limestone monument in the Giza.
Oh, sadly, not a Pharaoh hound. That would have been perfect. If
It's a very Sphinx-like pose right there.
Oh, yeah, it's very good.
There's very similar, but
Liz,
not quite the same. Yeah. Let's see. The footage prompted social media commenters to ponder whether the creature with the large erect ears was an Anubis, an ancient Egyptian god of the dead, often depicted as a man with a jackal's head. I think it's somewhere in here they talk about what they think the breed is. Yeah. Anyway.
It says in Cairo, these strays are called baladi, an Arabic word that means native or local.
Oh, so it's basically a mutt.
Mutt, yes.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. I haul boxes.
Oh,
I think his name is.
What a sense of humor.
Papyrus. Oh gosh. All right.
I'd hate to hear his dad jokes.
Yeah, very funny. Okay. So yeah, as Liz was saying, our producer in the background, that we're going to cover a feedback item having to do with a puppy, a dog, and so it's kind of a dog theme on today's show. So
I love
with
the
all
fact
dog
that
barking.
yeah, indeed. I love it. I love the fact that he was so excited taking pictures of this dog on top of the pyramid that he ran out of fuel and had to force land in the Sahara Desert.
I don't know that those paramotors hold a lot of fuel. I mean, for those who don't know, it's basically like a backpack that you wear. So I'm not sure what the
and like a kite or something wing, or what kind of like a parachute?
Yeah, like a paragliding wing.
Yeah, parachute.
So kind of very long and thin.
Love it.
So I think one of the things about the story that was kind of appalling to me was the guy that actually took this video and was in the paramotor is an accountant from Atlanta, and some other person saw his video and basically hijacked it and claimed it as his own, and actually recorded some part of it where he showed himself in what I guess he tried to construct as a paraglider, paramotor, or whatever. And the original guy was kind of upset about this whole thing, and this guy wanted to make it. Am I wrong about all that, Liz? Okay, yeah, I would be very upset about this as well. Let's see. It was some kind of a YouTube influencer. His name Marshall Mosher edited the footage, replacing a selfie of Mr. Lang, the guy that actually took this from Atlanta, with a photo of himself in flight and gazing downward as if he were observing the dog. Without asking Mr. Lang's permission, he then posted the altered video to an Instagram account, identifying himself in the caption as the pilot. How rude is that?
Yeah.
It
I hope he gets sued.
I have a little bit more information about the dog breed because I'm sure people are very interested about that on this aviation podcast. But they are a mix of Saluki, Pharaoh Hound, and Cannon dog breeds that evolved naturally.
Oh, there's a bit of Pharaoh Hound in there then. Well done. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so it's like 40 stories tall, this Egyptian pyramid. And
that's a
looking
big
at
dog.
That in that picture it looks huge. But
I'm sorry.
thinking,
You're talking about the pyramid. Okay,
looking at the video, yeah, the pyramid is. I mean, that's not an easy task, even for a dog. I think, to get all the way up there to the top. Pretty impressive.
No.
Probably chasing Cleopatra's cat.
Ah,
yeah,
could be.
Could be.
An asp.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
All right.
Well, with all the mummies around, there might be some dried dog food out there.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Please, let's do that. Getting to know us time. Now, the time of the show where we get to get all caught up with what everybody has been up to between, well, the last time that they were with us on the show. And let's start with the guy that has been absent the longest, and not due to himself. It's just the way everything worked out, but we're always happy to see RJ and have him on the show. So what have you been up to, RJ, since last on the show?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's probably been 3-4 months, easily.
Wow.
You know, it's been a productive 3 months. A lot of work, a lot of flying. But otherwise, you know, kind of taking time over the holidays. You know, spending some time with family and all of that. I did have to work some of the days over the holidays. I got off a trip on Christmas Day. Midday or something like that. So I got a little bit of time at home on Christmas Day. I had Thanksgiving off, which was nice. First time in many, many years I had Thanksgiving off. Otherwise this month has been, thus far it's been good. It's my wife's birthday month. So we've been kind of celebrating every day, if we will, a little bit. We went on her birthday. We actually went whale watching because she really wanted to do that, and so we went whale watching because it's something that you can do in mid-January in Southern California, is go out into the ocean and not freeze off.
I wouldn't get into the water though if I were you.
Yeah, don't get in the water as long as the water doesn't get in you. So this was a good company out of Newport Beach. They put you on a rigid inflatable boat, Zodiac boat. This was 16 of us. We basically, got together and went out and did this. Fortunately, we didn't see any whales that day, but we did see a whole lot of dolphins. We ran to a pod that probably had about, there are some here too, not just in
good
Miami.
Pics.
Yeah. I can't take credit for these pictures. I have to say these pictures were taken by, I didn't want to bring my SLR out onto the boat, but the one of the staff on the boat had their SLR, and she took these photos with a nice 200 millimeter lens, and she sent them. She was very nice to send them to us. So these were very nice. This was a huge pod, about 60 or 70 dolphins is what they estimate the pod size to be. Because the way they do it is that for every one dolphin that you see above water, there are probably 4 dolphins underwater, and that's how the biologists actually calculate or estimate the size of the pod.
Oh,
yeah.
So you're not fooling me, RJ. Those are pictures from the television show back in the 60s and 70s. Flipper.
Yeah, they are indeed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you caught me.
You have a Flipper soundbite. That's such a classic.
I wish
I can't mimic it because it won't sound right. But
here, I'll put it in right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's perfect. Hilarious. The power of post-production.
Yes, you can do amazing things in post.
That's right.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, great to have you back. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Hope to have you on more often in the future.
Yeah.
And anything else to add before we move on?
No, nothing else. That's pretty much what's been happening thus far.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
I do plan on making it out to Southern California someday and doing some mooch stocking out there. So
absolutely.
Except for the weather, though, is always so horrible.
I know. It's like
that area of the country.
It's really difficult when the weather is between 60 and 75. It's hard. It's hard to plan your day.
What to wear? Oh my god.
Yeah, what to
no
wear? You know, you might have to dress in layers. You know.
Actually, you do at night. It does get a little chilly. That's for sure.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Steph. What have you been up to?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just for the late ad there, Liz. I just put a photo in the messages for this episode.
Oh.
I
can probably play or do
I
something
missed
about that. Go ahead.
last week. Because so the month of January for not doing any flying has been just kind of busy with things on the weekends. There's been stuff going on pretty much every weekend. The first weekend I was actually in Atlanta for that Peachtree Road Race. And then this upcoming weekend, I'll be in Chicago for a Masters swim meet, which should be interesting. Doing that with my brothers and one of my oldest friends from childhood. We're gonna put together some relays too and see how that goes. So should have some interesting things to report from this upcoming weekend. And the following weekend, the end of the month, I'll be down in Charleston for a 5K race that I won't be really running much of, but we're going with some friends local to the area here, so that'll be fun. But this past weekend,
1K of it.
I'll do the whole 5K, but I'm for a variety of reasons not doing a ton of running at the moment.
Okay.
We'll jog. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
The same as I did with the Peachtree Road Race, kind of just jogged that.
Oh, that's right. You did the backwards Peachtree.
Yeah, we did the back. Oh, did I talk? I don't know if I talked about that because I
No.
think I was mentioning.
No,
Okay. I can
or did
bring you up
she?
to.
I
I can't remember. I think
Well,
I
I
did.
know that you were. I know you talked about doing it, but I'm not sure if we've had her on since she actually.
I talked about going to it. I don't think I talked. Yeah, so it's the Peachtree Road Race is the largest 10K race in the country or the world that happens in Atlanta on July 4th, the holiday every year.
You mean it's bigger than 10Ks? How can it be bigger?
It's about 60,000 people participating in it,
well,
which is
okay. Now I
yes,
understand.
Yes. So this was a much more limited group of folks, but this was the first year where they did it polar opposite. So it was 6 months offset in January. They ran it the opposite course direction, and the temperatures were quite cold. It was like 28 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, yeah, it was frosty.
Yeah. Like,
Yes.
I
But,
gotcha. Yeah.
just barely making my way back into some running after I don't really think I talked about recovery from some knee rehab that I've been doing, but kind of the first test and did a little bit of jogging and managed some 11.5-minute miles the whole way, which felt pretty good. So I was happy with that. Did that with one of my friends from med school. We were roommates back in medical school. She lives in the Greenville, Spartanburg area and has family in Atlanta. And we typically run the Peachtree Road Race together every year. So it was good to spend the day with her and do that. We had nice sunny weather, although it was cold for that. This past weekend, I'd been talking with my dad about he had been wanting to go someplace warm for quite a while over this winter, specifically the Caribbean. He's spent some time in the past in Montserrat and other places. And I was like, well, I really only have a weekend. And so that means I can leave Friday night and I have to come back Sunday. So the only, the best or the easiest way to do that would just be to go to San Juan, Puerto Rico, because there's several direct flights a day from our area. It's a couple-hour flight. You don't need, obviously it's part of the United States, so you don't need passports or anything. Just make it easy. And we did that this past weekend, which was, obviously we made it because you're showing the picture there, but travel was rather difficult. Our flight was Friday evening and that got canceled. And the airline we were flying with, American, had nothing for the rest of the weekend to get to Puerto Rico. Nothing.
Huh.
Like, just not able to do it. Because they canceled a lot of flights out of Charlotte on Friday with the snow and freezing rain. We mostly got freezing rain, which was kind of gross. So, well, I have this hotel that I booked that is no longer refundable. So if we can even use it for a night, that would be great. So a little bit of Delta Airlines to the rescue there. Just got online, looked up some options and booked one. Got to the airport and they promptly canceled the Atlanta to San Juan leg of it after we were already at the airport in Charlotte to go to Atlanta. So had to do some, at this point I'm like, this is a challenge now, right? Like I'm going to figure out how to get us, we're already here at the airport. So I went up to the gate agent and I said, hey, I'm looking at some options. We still want to go to Atlanta. And they're like, okay, because we just had like an alert come up for you guys. I'm like, yep, still want to go. Let us get that far at least. Like worst case scenario, we'll just come back. But was able to get to Atlanta, and I'm looking at all the flights that are options, and they canceled. There's several flights a day direct from Atlanta to San Juan, and like half of them were canceled, and the other half were pretty full that were remaining that we could possibly take. So we got there, and the flight that we had, actually this was the second flight on Delta that had been canceled too, because I booked one, they canceled that, they moved me to the later one. It was kind of this whole, everything was a mess. The flight that we were originally supposed to be on was still there at the gate, delayed. So I said, I'm going to go figure out what I need to do to see if we can get, because I had booked a flight for like that evening. I'm like, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because look, they're pretty late. We'll have all day Sunday, but if we can get there earlier, I'd like to go now. So ran over to the gate, figured out how to get on standby for that flight. And they actually had a fair amount of seats still available for that flight for some reason. So we were able to get on a flight that departed at about 10 a.m. and got us in at just before 3 p.m. So we had most of the afternoon on Saturday, and my dad had never been to San Juan, so walked around.
This is actually San Juan.
This is actually San Juan. Yep, this is.
Well, maybe this is not San Juan.
Yep, it is. That's one of the little. It's not one of the true garitas, like the lookout post, but they have one on the seawall on the looking south towards the harbor there. But we kind of walked around in the evening and just took in the sights a little bit, got some food, and then the next day went and saw the old forts and did the history part of town.
Nice.
It was
Sorry,
lovely
the old
and
what?
warm. Forts.
Oh, okay.
Not
I thought you
farts.
meant the old gentleman. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
The old fart.
Yes.
The old fort.
El Morro and Castillo San Cristobal. Really interesting history down there, and yeah, it was lovely. It was like 80 degrees Fahrenheit, sunny, warm. I'm glad we made it. Glad I got one night of my 2 nights booked at the hotel that I couldn't refund. And then, yeah, all the flights coming back were fine. None of those were canceled, so we didn't have any issue getting back home.
What hotel were you?
Palacio Provincial or something along those lines. Okay. It's a Hilton property in an old, the building was actually originally the site of the meeting space for the first representatives of Puerto Rico. And I don't know for which kind, but like it's a 200-year-old building, in Old San Juan. All the old buildings that are historic and have huge ceiling heights and just big spaces. They're really
we used to lay over at the Hilton Caribe.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Caribe. Yep.
All right.
Kind of at not quite into Old Town there, but as you come around towards Old Town.
Yeah. Are you still busy with work?
Always busy with work. I think that's the new normal. Always.
Yeah. Okay.
I was at a work meeting last night that went until about 8:15 p.m. So it felt like I got home and barely slept and then turned around and went back this morning.
Yuck. So,
of course.
Yeah. Thanks for finding.
Enjoy having you on board with us. And I would imagine with the weather situation this time of year, you probably haven't been doing a heck of a lot of actual flying, jumping.
No, we're
jumper dumpers.
On a break for the month of January generally.
Okay.
So unless there's
Makes
like
sense.
a really nice weekend, sometimes we'll open up, do like a soft open, but nothing planned. So that's why I had all these other weekends of things planned. So looking good to get to Chicago tomorrow. Hopefully that's good a go, because if we don't get there tomorrow, they'll just miss the meet on Saturday morning.
Oh no. Well, fingers crossed you make it.
No, it should be fine. I don't think there should not be any issues. Knock on wood.
All right. Captain Nick, have you been? Oh, I keep doing that. I am. I'm trying to move him. Liz and I are trying to do the same maneuver with the video, and we keep like. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I've done something vaguely APG orientated, which is great fun.
Oh, wow.
So I had a meetup, and yeah, as usual, I'm not going to tell you about it because it's all part of the audio. So could we
Well,
play
do what
the
I do
audio,
and just
please?
basically tell everything that happened in the setup and then play the audio and then regurgitate everything.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Try not to.
No, you're much smarter than I. Okay. So you want me to play the meetup audio?
Yeah, go ahead. That'd be lovely.
Here we go.
Jeff, hi, it's Captain Nick, and I am in a pub in Guildford. Oh, look, here comes the nice lady with our cutlery. We're about to start filling our face. As promised.
I beg your pardon?
Filling our face with food. As promised, I'm with El Piloto, the fine pilot who has flown in from parts foreign to London. In fact, London Gatwick, second-class airport. I don't know why he's going there. But anyway...
Only for you, Nick. That's why I'm here. Purely here for you.
Well, I thought you'd have gone to Heathrow at least. But
Well, I actually came here trying to meet you thinking that... Well, I was quite surprised you actually agreed to come and meet up with me. With all my feedback generally having a few prods at you, I thought, obviously... That is by the by, water under the bridge, and then you ambushed me.
Absolutely.
Here with a couple of microphones looking very intimidating, very high tech.
That's what
and
it's all
I'm
about.
Literally thinking, what have I walked into here?
Well, it's the APG nightmare is where you are currently. So El Piloto has just flown in overnight, so he's hanging a bit. He's spent a few hours in his nice white coffin in his hotel. Bought a few sausages, I gather, to take back home to where he lives and based, because sausages apparently are a rare commodity. I don't know whether he'll reveal more. But really, Els, can I call you Els?
Yes, if we're going to be friends, why not? Okay, let's go down that road. Let's explore that, shall we?
You can call me Nick. That's fine.
All right.
Tell us a bit about yourself, and what you get out of the show and all that kind of stuff, because we're just very interested in the people who listen to us.
At the end of the day, it's that camaraderie, just the good old satire that goes along with the show, easygoing sort of guys. As I said, sitting here. Nick is sort of guy I'd hang out with, so why not listen to a few guys when I'm pottering around the house? Yep, I'm taking beers. Get one down there. Cheers. All right, quickly got that sorted. Anyway, so generally my day-to-day life, even sometimes when I'm lying in the bunk trying to fall asleep at 10 a.m. in the morning. Maybe revealed too much there. Time. So for me, I listen to you guys, especially Nick's Plain Tales have been marvelous to listen to. Additionally, during COVID, I had a lot of extra free time. I was actually doing a different job and kind of had that longing for the aviation exposure. And I found your podcast, and it really, really helped me through the dark times. And
oh, wow.
Hence why I remain a top-tier executive producer on Patreon, because what you guys pump out is marvelous. It's kind of, it's my little go-to. It's something for me. It's my time, and I really enjoy listening to the rest of the community, the crew, and it just feels like a bunch of buddies hanging out without actually having to get somewhere.
Well, we really appreciate that, particularly being a patron. That's marvelous. Thanks. Now, you mentioned that you know our Captain Al. So are you allowed to reveal that part of your history?
I think, Al, if you hear my voice, you know exactly who I am. And you're probably just got your head in your hands right now and going, oh, good God's sakes, I thought I was done with him. But I know Al from the days before when we were up in Manchester, and I hope you're doing well, Al.
Excellent. And without revealing too much, I gather you're a captain on 330s. What can you?
380, actually.
380.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you moved from 330s to 380s.
No, I never went to the 330.
Okay, my apologies. I must have misheard. These hearing aids.
It's only the aircraft that's big enough for my ego.
Well, tell me a little bit about 380. Do you like flying it? Is it a great airplane?
I think it's marvelous. Absolutely love the aircraft. It keeps on going. That's what I like about it. There's so much redundancy in that aircraft. Nothing stops it. It, really, there are no showstoppers. Something happens if it does happen. It's a case of like, oh, what do you know? We can keep going. Even an engine failure, you won't even get the land ANSA up on the ECAM. It's like, right, lads, keep on trucking. You lost an engine. Even double hydraulic failure, keep on going. You're fine. It's a marvelous aircraft.
Excellent. And I've flown in it as a punter, as a passenger down the back, and I can say that it's the experience, even in the meager seats, is fine. It's a very, very pleasant airplane to fly in.
I remember my first takeoff from the 380. I literally thought I failed to set the thrust setting correctly because it doesn't sound loud enough. So I was rolling down the runway going, I think I've done something wrong here. Nobody else seems to be twitching here, but this doesn't feel right. It's too quiet.
Excellent. So any other aviation stories you'd just like to reveal from your
you've really
background?
put me on the spot there. I could get myself into a fair amount here. I think I'll probably say that for another time.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
If you give me a heads up and a fair chance here.
Well, look, I'll tell you what, send in an Els Piloto feedback with a nice recording of a couple of your aviation stories, because you've told me a couple that are real doozies, and that would be great.
Yeah, there's a statute. I'm going to have to check a few statutes of limitations there.
Anyway, we're about to settle down and have some more beers and some food. So, Jeff, I'm going to ask Els Piloto to hand it back to you in the studio.
Nick was actually very wise to ask me to do this before I got through my second beer. So back to you in the studio.
Well, thank you very much. I have it. Thank you for throwing it back to us. Oh, man. First of all, that the recording quality was just amazing. Fabulous. Nice job.
Well, you'll have to thank the mics and the new recording device, Jobby.
Yeah. Whatever you were using was perfect. Yeah.
Oh, that works a treat.
Yeah.
An absolutely delightful gentleman. And I bet I'm trying not to identify him because he was a little bit concerned about appearing on a podcast because he's still a working
Especially
man.
ours.
And his company has strict rules. So I better not say too much, but I did, in fact, get in touch with Captain Al and said, send him a little video of us having a beer together. And Al said, yes, I very much do remember him. Lovely guy, had some challenging times in his life, but pleased it's all worked out for him. And I agree, he's a lovely bloke. I'm sure he makes a great captain. He's got that kind of nice, relaxed, easygoing attitude that we all admire so much. So it was a pleasure chatting with Els Piloto. And I can't say that, Liz, because I'm trying not to, because that might point the finger.
Be a distinguishing feature, yeah.
Yeah, and
he has got such a great voice. I really a nice deep voice.
He has a great voice for radio, or right face for radio, perhaps. Well, anyway. I'm only getting my own back after some of the things he said. So we had a great night out together in the pub in Guildford, and I'm hoping we'll get a chance to do it again sometime in the future. That really would be good. So if you're back in the country, Els, which is the weirdest first name I've ever heard, let's do it again. It was an absolute pleasure.
Well, I've had the honor and joy to privilege. Thank you. That was a word I was looking for. Thank you, Liz. To actually do a Zoom video, a one-on-one kind of thing with him a couple of times, and he is just an amazing guy. And as he mentioned, he's one of our top tier contributors in the Coffee Bar Club. So thank you very much, Els, for that. And he's just a top-notch guy. So it was nice to hear.
And a true professional. His stories of his flying career, he's had a hugely varied flying career to get where he has, and I consider that at the top of the tree. A captain on a 380, great job, as I know Stefan would say. And so we've got a couple of those guys that we see regularly. But it's really fascinating talking to him about his earlier life in the Far East with some dodgy outfits. I hope you won't mind me saying that. And, my eyes were getting very wide listening to some of those stories. It was great fun. So really nice chatting to him. I was
one.
looking like that. Yes. Oh my God.
Stud expression.
Like, am I really hearing this?
Yes, exactly right.
Are you
do
sure
what?
you're supposed to tell me that?
Yeah, brilliant. So cover art, can we do that?
Yeah.
There we go. Now we had some really good ideas last week. First step is a doozy. Landing next to some weeds. Spluttering in the weed was the winner, but off field, in a field, at the end of the grass. Put that. Oh well, I included some of them. If you go to one of the close-ups, Liz, there's put it in your piper and smoke it. So, which I thought was a good one.
Oh, there's a piper, huh?
That's that's the airplane that we were talking about that landed off field. And of course, while I'm where I got that, I mentioned the show number. I've highlighted them a bit so you can see them a bit easier because they're more concealed in the original. So we've got a 646 if you look at the corners. I'm actually quite looking forward to episode 666, the number of the beast. And if you
I see those flames are the show number. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, flaming show number. Yeah,
gotcha.
And if you look at the propeller boss, you'll see the logo around the propeller boss.
Okay,
there you go.
Very clever.
It's stationary because he's had an engine failure. And there's your put it in your piper and smoke it. One suggestion, and we talked about an egress, and there's a lone flip-flop there. Dress True Egress was the title that we considered for that. So I thought I'd put a little flip-flop sitting there, which is rather apt because we're talking about egressing today.
Yeah, that it's full circle, right? Full circle.
Yeah.
Although, a point of order, I think that the guy that landed in the field still had the engine running because he said it's still sputtering. They're all saying you should probably shut the engine down at this point.
Yeah. Yes, good point. I think it was or spluttering in English, but there you go. We did have a discussion on whether he said sputtering or spluttering.
No, he said sputtering. Yeah.
Have you got that in a translation?
I no
English to American translation. Yeah.
No, but this was an American guy landing in an American field.
Okay.
American weed.
Yeah. I have to say, I had never heard of the term sputtering, and likewise, I don't think you were familiar with spluttering.
Yeah, because the original artwork had spluttering, and I'm thinking, what?
Nobody knows.
Is that
what
even
is.
a word? Yeah.
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 So it's amazing how our language has diverged.
It is.
Anyway, we've got a grass runway and a weed runway there, so I think you can realize where we were going with that.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's the end of the artwork.
Beautiful. Beautiful job.
Very nice.
All right.
Cheers.
I think it's okay. I was just about to do the coffee fund, but let me do my little getting to know us segment first. And so I'm still in the Oh yeah, let's do that. Thank you. Let me get that so I can read it. Where is my? Here it is. My screen my whole computer system has gone to dark mode, and now the windows are not easily identifiable to me anymore. But now I found it. All right. So this. I meant to cover this last show, or maybe even the show before. Last show. Okay. So you'll know, you've heard of the guy that calls himself Geezer, Larry Gregory in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Thank you. And he actually, turns out, he was the one responsible for coming up with the Talons Douglas, when I occasionally use as we sign off. And that's a long story why he says that. But anyway, so I'm looking at Facebook, which is like, don't faint, people. I don't hit Facebook too often. But I happened to be looking at something on Facebook, and then I noticed there was this post from Larry Gregory on December 24th at 11:34 p.m., so Christmas Eve. And he says, I think I'll go for a walk now that I'm out of the hospital. And I went, out of the hospital? He says, after several days of tests and tests and tests, it was determined that I indeed had a heart attack. I had none of the classic symptoms, but the test determined significant arterial blockage. Given the choice of medication, treatment, and diet change or open heart triple bypass surgery, I chose to take better care of myself. Go home and take it easy and exercise, he said. And appointments have already been set up. Thanks for the prayers. They were effective and appreciated. Merry Christmas. So Larry had a heart attack. Oh my goodness. So I'm hoping that you're doing better now and that you're out there exercising and taking care of better care of yourself, Larry. And yeah, you're just such a big part of our APG community. I just wanted to kind of we love you, man, and hope you're doing well, and hope to get more funny feedback from you in the future. Yeah. All right. Don't apologize. I'm glad that you poked me for that one, because I forgot last episode to mention it. So I'm here in the Road Vessel studio, still in Florida. I think last week I was recording in Chokoloskee Island, about as far south, like right in the middle of the Everglades, or not quite the middle, but very close to the Everglades, and just south of Everglades City. And I think I mentioned during the show recording that I was going after the show, like immediately after the show. Stan Lindsay, my good friend, trumpeter friend from high school, said he was going to come by, and he was going to pick me up and he was going to take me to dinner. And so we went to a place in Everglades City called Captain Morgan's. And so there's a little pic of the two of us out in front. And the reason why Stan took that picture was so that we could send it to Bill, the third trumpeter in the Nashville, Tennessee area. And so we had a nice meal together. And that was on, I think it was on Friday when we recorded the show. And then on Sunday morning, I left Chokoloskee Island and headed up toward Naples, where Stan has a beautiful home in a golf course community in Naples, Florida, and just absolutely gorgeous place. And got to spend some time with him and his wife Marcy, and so that was a great time. Yeah, and let's see. After that, yeah, I spent the night parked. I think that was actually technically my first mooch docking experience. Actually, parking in somebody else's driveway. Although I didn't actually. Yeah, I guess I did. Yeah, I did do that up at. Yeah, okay, never mind. That was not anywhere near the first time that I've mooch docked then. But actually, in this case, I'm not even sure you could. I just basically parked it in his driveway. He had a beautiful guest bedroom and ensuite, bathroom, and got to take a nice long shower and not worry about where all the water was going. Little minor flooding, but I think that they called somebody to take care of it. So anyway, it was a great time spending with Stan, and he actually said, on Sunday, why don't we go to Mass together at St. Agnes, and which was kind of like, what? Because he is not a Catholic. And I went, you're actually going to go to Mass with me? And he goes, yeah. So that was nice. And then after that, we went to lunch at his club in this beautiful golf course community, and it was amazing food. And anyway, so great time. Left Monday. They are thinking about getting an RV. They are going to be selling this home, and then they have a son and a daughter. The son lives not too far from them in Fort Myers, but they have a daughter living in Northwest Arkansas, and the daughter has a couple of kids in Arkansas. Yeah, Nick, just to be clear, to kind of get you geographically located, Arkansas in the States. So they are going to, sell the house in Naples, buy or build a place in Northwest Arkansas, and then they want to do some travel. They're going to be retired, and so they looked at the RVS and said, yeah, something like that might really work out well for the two of us. So we'll see. I'll let you know how that journey goes. Well, then where am I going to stay, Liz? Oh, in their house. Oh, that's a good idea. I could do some house sitting. Yeah, that would be nice. All right. I left there, and then eventually I want to hit Tampa. There's a meetup of some RV YouTubers that I follow, a couple of different channels that are doing a combined meetup at the RV Super Show in Tampa. And I'm not sure if I'm going to actually make it to the show itself, probably, but I don't really need to. I just want to hang out with all the people at this. They're basically renting a brewery in downtown Tampa. Not a brewery, but I guess it is a brewery. It's a small brewery. It's not the Cigar City Brewery, which would be awesome. But the place that brews their own beer, and I'm hoping that they have the High on tap at this place. But anyway, so I said, okay, I got to figure out where I'm going to go. It was funny because Stan was going, where are you going? Where are you headed now, Jeff? And I said, well, eventually at the end of the week, I'm going to be in Tampa. But honestly, I had no idea where I was going after I left Stan's house. And all I knew is that I needed to continue editing the show that we recorded on Friday because I'd like to get these things published on Mondays. And I left on Monday, and I thought, okay, where am I going to go to find some place to edit the show? And I just kind of pulled over in a parking lot and did most of the editing there. But I did find a Harvest Host location kind of not too far from Sebring, where I was the week before, in a little farm called Skyfire Ranch to the west of Sebring. And so this place has a nice setup, several different sites with partial hookups. And there's a cow, one of the cattle on the ranch, and they do chickens and cattle, and they have a apiary. I think that's what they call the beekeeping thing, apiary. And
where they keep the apes.
Yeah, well, I was looking for the apes, didn't see any, but I did find some bees, like buzzing around here and there, and I'm thinking, they tell me that these bees are nice bees and they don't sting you. So I didn't get stung. So, yeah, so that's the RVS in front of the little.
It is. It needs clean, I think.
It does. It really does. And I've done some research, and I finally figured out a place to have the thing washed. It's basically a truck wash called Blue Beacon. They have locations all over the country, and so after I leave Tampa, I'm going to stop by this Blue Beacon truck wash and have this thing washed properly. And but anyway. Just squint, and it looks really nice. Let's see. So I'm at a different one than the one I just showed you, the Skyfire Ranch. I'm at another Harvest Host, kind of a small little family, farm. You can hardly call it, but they do have chickens and dogs. They have beef here too. Oh, bees. Yeah, so they have it's an apiary as well. In fact, one of those bees, as I was getting set up for the show earlier today, I had my headphones on, but I'm thinking, what is that noise? It's like I thought it was some kind of a ground loop or something. And then I undid my ear cup, and I went, oh, that's a bee. That's a bee, like buzzing a foot away from my head. I'm thinking, oh, hello. I don't want you in here. So I managed to scoot him out the door and made sure that all the doors were shut and windows closed, and so I have not had a bee visitor since then. But you're right, there is an apiary here. So anyway, I am definitely happily dodging the throttle. I keep looking at the weather going on up there in the Atlanta area, and where Steph lives, and the whole area of the country there is just
it's
in
cold.
a deep freeze. It's supposed to get really cold, I think, on Saturday morning, Sunday morning, something like that, down into the really low temps, like 11 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever that is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be chilly the next couple days, and even next week.
Very cold. So that's going to keep me away for another week or so. So I was thinking about visiting a friend up in Mobile, but then I looked at their temps. Their low temps were below freezing as well. And I went, darn, got to stay down here in Florida, I guess. So I'm trapped in Florida. So yeah, that's your update on the adventures of Jeff in the Road Vessels studio, and still enjoying it. And 11 Fahrenheit is minus 11 Celsius.
Wow, that's chilly, Jeff. That's very chilly.
I know. That's why I'm not going up there.
Don't blame you.
I'm not going there. All right, let's do some coffee. Yeah, good idea. Let's warm up with some coffee. Let's talk about the Coffee Bar Club.
Johnny, how much more coffee?
No thanks.
I love coffee. I love tea. I love the APG community. Coffee and tea and the Java and me. A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup. Oh yeah, the Coffee Fund. It's your way to support our show financially and join the great group of folks that we call, well, I used to call the Coffee Fund Cadre, but I think people are confused about that. And so I finally have deferred to Captain Nick, and we're just going to call it the Coffee Bar Club. And so you can buy us a cup of coffee if you'd like by joining these fine folks. And you can find out how to do that by going to airlinepilotguy.com/coffee. A couple different ways to do this. We have the Coffee Fund Classic method, which is a PayPal donation page for the every once in a while kind of donation. And we do have recurring contributors on using that mechanism as well. But most of our supporters are using Patreon. They're patrons on Patreon, and you can pledge a certain amount per episode or per creation. And we have a couple of new producers, and we have Brad, didn't want to use his last name, and we have Jenny Panic. She panics when she listens to our show, I think. Yeah. Anyway, so thank you, Brad and Jenny, for becoming producers of the show. We really do appreciate that. So if you want to join these fine folks, please head over to airlinepilotguy.com/coffee. You'll be glad you did, and we will too. Okay. Yeah, we can do some good feedback, huh? All right. Let's hit the little feedback bumper then.
Some good feedback? Why, have we got some different stuff?
Captain, incoming message.
Yeah, it's not your run-of-the-mill feedback. It's good feedback.
This is the really good stuff.
Yeah, we saved it. Yeah, let's go to Sam's to make sure that we do cover Sam's feedback, and so that is number 12. Okay, here we go. APG crew. This is a dog story rather than a plane story, so don't feel you need to read it on the air. No, we wanted to. It was a great story, or is a great story. Plus, it's way too long. No, it's not. But I know that you guys like dogs. Well, at least Nick does. I think we all do. Cousin Liz loves dogs. She's got a beautiful schnauzer.
Yeah, we all do. We all do.
And,
There's some dogs here.
Well, everybody but
exactly.
me. I don't have a dog. I love dogs.
Yeah.
Okay. In episode 645, you talked about dogs going down aircraft slides. Someone mentioned dogs going down playground slides, and it brought back memories of one of my favorite dogs. Sonny was a golden retriever that we had while my wife was going through orthopedic surgery residency at Fort Bliss, Texas. Our house was on, quote, field grade row next to the playground. Right behind our house was the commanding general's house, and across the street from his house was the post parade field. The street from his house was the post. Oh, the general just happened to have a golden retriever as well. For those not familiar with golden retrievers, they don't have a mean bone in their bodies. Sunny was typical of this breed and loved people, especially children. When there were kids on the playground, she often couldn't help herself and would jump our fence and run over to play. More than once, I would go to our backyard to call her inside just to see her come down the slide at the playground, then slink home knowing she had been a bad girl. But how could I be really upset watching her play with children? On other occasions, I would come home and see her race home from the playground, jump the fence, and go to her doghouse and act as if she had been there all day. One day, my wife had surgeries while I was teaching aerobatics in a nearby airfield, so Sunny was left to her own devices in our backyard. That lasted until some kids started playing in the playground, so she escaped. At some point, a review of the troops started on the parade field, so the kids must have gone across the street, with Sunny following. All those troops marching must have been too much for Sunny, as she started racing up and down the ranks of parading troops trying to get someone to play with her. The general's wife recognized Sunny and called her name. Sunny dutifully came over and sat with the general and his wife as they finished reviewing the troops. Rather than call animal control, the general and his wife put Sunny in their backyard with their golden and called my wife's hospital, leaving a message that they had Sunny in their yard. That's not quite the message my wife got. Of course, my wife was in the middle of surgery when an orderly came in and said, "Major Dawson, your dog is in the general's yard." My wife had visions of our dog digging up the flowers in the general's yard. Under the glare of the attending surgeon, my wife had to scrub out and call me. I was flying, so my phone was off, but after landing, I listened to a message from my wife. "Your stupid dog is in the general's yard. You need to get her now." I drove home as fast as I could and sheepishly rang the doorbell of the general's house. They explained what had happened and laughed it off. We walked to the backyard to get Sunny, and she was gone. Their well-behaved Golden was there, but no Sunny. There were kids on the playground, so I looked there and called her name. Sure enough, her head poked out of a plastic tube, and the kid said, "Sunny, time to go home." She saw me, went down the slide, raced home, jumped the fence, and went to her doghouse like she had been there all day. The next day, I canceled my lessons, went to the hardware store, got an invisible fence, and spent the day installing it. Sadly, she passed away a few years ago from liver cancer at the age of 15. I'm attaching a picture of her from the day she successfully caught a squirrel. Being a retriever, she brought it to me unharmed and dropped it. The squirrel was so stunned at being alive, I had time to take out my camera and take a picture before it scurried off. Sam. And what a great picture of that. That squirrel's like looking like, why am I not dead? Why am
Can I go
still
now?
alive? Yeah, can I? Hello?
It scurried off straight to its therapist, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What a great dog. Oh, and then I think he followed up with, let's see, Life was not dull with Sunny. She was actually my daughter's dog, and my daughter trained her to be a therapy dog. She also trained her to fetch our newspaper each morning. One day I came home from work, and there were newspapers all over our backyard. Sunny had retrieved all the neighborhood newspapers.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
I almost forgot the postscript for the parade story. The military police came by that evening to pay a visit. I guess someone snitched on her getting out all the time. I assured them that I would put in an invisible fence to fix the issue. A few moments after they left, the doorbell rang again. I opened the door, and there were the MPs again. Sunny got out again, and she's in our patrol car. I looked at it, sure enough.
Brilliant.
There was Sunny in the back seat of the patrol car, ready to go for a ride. She had seen the open door and assumed it was an invitation. What a great personality this dog had.
Absolutely. No, it's fabulous stories.
Yeah. We love
Fantastic.
dog stories almost as much as aviation stories. Or maybe more, actually.
They're
She went
usually
down the slide,
happier.
so.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I guess we can go backwards and try to cover some of the feedback that we keep putting off for the next show. How about number 3 from Brent? He says, funny from a Facebook post. And this has to do with engines. I'm not sure if I'll read the whole thing here, but we'll have a link to it in the show notes. But it starts off by saying, jet engines aren't just metal cylinders that scream and blow. They're the ultimate bad boys of aviation. Sassy, powerful, and downright terrifying if you get too close. Well, I thought that was Captain Nick and me were the bad boys of aviation, but apparently not.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
Sounds like
the
a
thing that
sound
got me
clip to
was
play too.
downright terrifying if you get too close. That's what kind of clued me in on that one. This chart here is to remind you playing chicken with a jet engine is the dumbest idea since putting pineapple on pizza.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah,
say that,
I'll agree with
folks.
that.
That shot's fired right there. I love pineapple on pizza.
I think that Hawaiian pizza is
Why
actually...
is Steph still on the show?
What?
Not Hawaiian pizza, just pineapple.
Oh, just pineapple.
Steph likes pineapple
Cheese
on
and
pizza.
pineapple.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah.
Showed
I
my
like all kinds
true
of things.
colors here.
Absolutely
Yes.
not.
Well, I mean,
So
I
good.
don't normally go to a pizza place and ask for pineapple on my pizza, honestly. But if you have pizza with pineapple on it, I'll eat it. Okay. Yeah, it goes into the... It's a very funny article, the way this writer kind of describes the different zones of a jet engine. Like, for instance, the suck zone, the air intake. Imagine a first date with someone who can't stop pulling you in, metaphorically and literally. At idle, at 12 feet, the engine's air intake is moving at 25 knots. Well, that's 28 miles per hour, or the speed your toddler runs when they've stolen your phone. Stay closer, and your scarf, pride, and possibly your small dog will become a mid-flight snack. At takeoff power, 30 feet, it's pulling at 35 knots. That's strong enough to vacuum up a full set of golf clubs, or your will to live. And they talk about the fact that suction force is no joke. Ground crew have been literally sucked into jet engines before. Don't be the next person who gets introduced to a turbine blade. In fact, the last episode, we talked about that final report of that young lady in Montgomery that got sucked into a...
Very sad.
Very sad indeed.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so it goes into the blow zone, the exhaust, and everything else, and it's a cute article explaining how jet engines work, and we'll have that in the
I don't
show
know
notes.
which I'd prefer, the suck zone or the blow zone.
Okay, let's... not sure what to do with that.
I don't think we can touch that one. That's an after-hours discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. APG
After dark
after hours.
discussion.
Fair enough.
That's right.
Fair enough.
Only for Patreons.
There you go. Let's see. I need to find the video that goes with this one. So bear with me here. Yeah, I'm just going to play a little bit of it. A selected excerpt. I need to share that again, don't I? Present, share screen, and then find the window. And is that it? Maybe. Well, I know I haven't. Okay, I'm looking for something in the share screen thing. Okay, I think I found it. Okay. Yeah, so this is from Texas and LaShock, and the subject is airliners versus ocean liners. Greetings, Captain Jeff and APG crew. I've been coming across a number of videos that aren't directly about aviation, but have interesting tie-ins. I was trying to figure out which one to start with, and this one popped up in my feed, so might as well. This video is from YouTube channel Ocean Liner Designs. In it, he tackles what ended the age of the ocean liner. The answer may seem obvious, but how it actually came about is a more involved process. The end for the ocean liners did come quickly, but it took years to get there. And so I think this might be a good place to share the little excerpt of the video. And we're going to hopefully cross our fingers and this plays. Okay. Maybe not. Okay.
1952 would prove to be a critical year for the ocean liner. It had benefited from wartime lessons too. and the SS United States was designed and built in the post-war world with technology that had been seen on modern American battleships. Superheated boilers and advanced propeller designs saw the new ship snatch the speed record from the old Queen Mary in July that year and bring the transatlantic crossing down to just 3 days and 10 hours, an incredible feat. This was the fastest an ocean liner had ever been, but it was also the fastest an ocean liner would ever be. Because although the United States designers didn't know it yet, even as they were preparing their ship for its triumphant maiden voyage, another vessel's first trip was underway, but this one was above the clouds. Introduced as the world's first commercial jet airliner by Britain's BOAC, the de Havilland Comet shook the world's merchant marines to their core. While its predecessors had been sluggish, cold, and uncomfortable, the Comet promised a new era in air travel with its quiet, pressurized cabin, expanded passenger capacity, and unprecedented fuel efficiency, range, and speed, all thanks to its advanced jet engines. What was once a nightmarish mode of travel now seemed positively cushy by comparison, and that's to say nothing of that speed. Suddenly, a crossing which once took days could now feasibly be undertaken in just hours. Ship owners were initially nervous, but they may have been somewhat heartened by a series of crashes which shook public confidence in the Comet. By the mid-50s, though, the kinks had been ironed out of the Comet and the playing field had been levelled. It was a showdown. Ocean liners against airliners.
Love the music.
At first, Cunard.
Okay. It was hard for me to
that's
trim
good.
it. So that was the
That's
little
good.
excerpt.
That was a good little excerpt you picked there. That was brilliant.
That was actually suggested to me by Texas and LaShock.
Oh, cool.
Ah, very nice.
So there's a little bit more to his feedback, and of course the link to this video from Ocean Design, or Ocean Liner Design, I think.
And there was me thinking they all just sank.
No. Yeah.
Apparently not.
I got to do a tour of the Queen Mary. It's I don't know if it's still in the Long Beach Harbor.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's now a hotel.
Yeah, it's an incredibly huge
it's a great
ship.
Yeah, I've never been to a rusty hotel before.
Well, they keep it rust-free on the inside.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
And there's some discussion going on in our live chat room about the ship that was in the video, the SS United States, and about how it's been in Philadelphia for quite a long time, but is going to be scrapped. So speaking of rust,
yeah, Main Man Micah and a few others are talking about that. So, So, again, all this good stuff will be in our show notes, so please do check that out. All right. We'll continue on with this from Robert. Robert Tucker. It's a good joke, isn't it? He's living in, actually, Robert Thompson, living in Tucker, Georgia. The title of his feedback is Jacksonville Center, what's going on? Funny you should say that, because we said that a lot too when we were flying down to Florida. We would say, utter the same words. Probably RJ has uttered them as well. Like, okay, Jack Center, what's going on here? Robert says, we spent Christmas with friends in Fort Lauderdale, and we were waiting on another delayed flight back home to Atlanta, likely due to ATC and or volume. Let's see. Friends tell me, Jacksonville Center is a constant hot mess, and ain't nobody working in Jack Center, so that's an issue. Yeah, they do seem to have issues with staffing at Jacksonville Center. So Robert says, so is it staffing? No one wants to work there? Who is handling the load of flights, and has anyone heard of any plan to proactively mitigate against these issues? Oh, come on. You're joking, right? Happy holidays to the crew, Robert in Tucker, Georgia. And, what people have told me, and Robert, again, as I said, dealing with Jack Center is just like, can we avoid Jack Center? But I guess they claim it's, and I guess it's sort of legitimate. It's kind of a constrained airspace, especially over the peninsula.
Right.
And they have all these warning areas in the Gulf of Mexico, or soon to be the Gulf of America, or the Atlantic Ocean,
Right.
that they have to deal with. And RJ, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your experience with Jack Center.
I've not had very many good experiences with them. Once they did try and turn me into a thunderstorm.
Yay!
And we had to tell them that that was the direction of the thunderstorm. So that's why we were continuing in this way. And they were like, unable, you have to turn in this direction for traffic. And we were like, okay, we'll climb or descend, but we cannot turn into a thunderstorm. Right. And they were saying, oh, yeah, it's, many other aircraft have done it. You can do it too. And we're like, no, we're not doing it.
Yeah. Well, they're idiots and we're not. So
yeah, exactly.
Give me a descent or a climb. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's when you gotta say, let me just tell you what we are doing. And then, would you like me to declare an emergency? I'll do that if you'd like.
Yeah, we could.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I think you're right. They do have a very constrained airspace that they do work with. And I think just the way that the airspace is set up into Florida, where it's all the traffic comes in on the outsides and all the traffic goes out in the middle, that kind of actually affects vectoring areas that you have, especially with thunderstorms and all of that in summer. So they have their hands tied, and they do, I think they do a good job with what they have, but sometimes we don't see the big picture.
Oh, RJ, the good thing is in Florida, those thunderstorms really aren't that bad.
No, they're not. They're not. They're very docile. That's just a little bit of rain, no turbulence.
Smooth.
Yeah. Very smooth, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no hail coming out of it or anything.
No.
No.
It just makes a little noise.
That's right, yeah.
No damage.
No.
Yeah, I think everybody here on the current hosting probably has experience flying in Florida. I don't know. Steph, have you been able to enjoy the airspace in Florida?
Actually, once at least. And there were thunderstorms.
What?
It was February.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Surprise.
But actually, unrelated to my own, piloting the aircraft experience, it reminded me that the flight that we finally did take from Atlanta to San Juan last weekend that I was talking about, just on the climb out with that system that had moved through, that was some of the best/worst turbulence I've experienced in a while. It was not pleasant.
No.
I was afraid I was going to whack my head into the lady sitting next to me at one point because I was just like, oh, that was quite a bit. Okay.
What kind of jet were you in?
It was a 321.
Mm-hmm. They're good jets.
Well, interesting.
I've
good
heard.
jet. Yeah.
Do you know anything about that? RJ?
Yeah. I've heard. Better than a 7.3.
Well, a lot of people think that, for sure. I can't say I haven't flown either of them. So I've just heard other people's comments. And All right. So thank you, Robert. And closely related to Robert is Roberta. Well, the name anyway. I don't think they're actually related to each other. Roberta Westwood is up in the beautiful province of BC, British Columbia in Canada. A long-time listener, she says. This is my second feedback, but my first hasn't been read yet. Oh, wait. Did we skip her first one? Okay, we have read her first feedback. Okay. Let's see. Oh, she says, although I haven't listened to 641 yet. Roberta, come on now. Listen to 641.
Don't let us down, Roberta.
Yeah, I know. We're kind of, this feedback has been sitting in the feedback bag for a while. So, but hey, we're finally getting to it. I have a new hobby, watching Flight Radar 24 and wondering what you might say happened whenever there is something of note. Every once in a while, I find myself saying, oh, that's because ... then laugh because I know nothing about aviation other than listening to APG. And we really don't know much about it either, just to be honest.
Well, yeah, just join the club then.
Yeah, join the club. But this really puzzled me, she said. The flight in question was an Aer Lingus Flight 104 flying from JFK to Dublin on the 6th of December, 2024. It was an Airbus A330-302. I first
Nice
noticed
airplane.
the flight. Is it? Okay. I first noticed the flight when it aborted landing in Dublin. She says, oh, cue the go around. Okay, here we go. Yes, you can. Coming down. Might as well play a little bit more of it.
You can always
go around. Okay. The flight climbed to 8,000 feet, circled for a very long time, maybe an hour. Several other flights also aborted landings while I watched and waited. Maybe half of them landed. Finally, it tried to land again, but nope, went around again. What happened next is the mystery. The flight diverted to Brussels, where it landed, presumably safely. What possible reason could there be for an Aer Lingus flight to divert to Brussels? If the pilot didn't want or couldn't land in Dublin, there are plenty of other large airports closer. I would have thought his fuel was depleted by then. This was around 6 a.m. in the UK, so it wasn't due to nighttime landing restrictions in London. And she said lots of planes were aloft. If there was a mechanical issue, would there perhaps be Airbus repair facilities in Brussels that wouldn't be available in the UK? Anyways, the curiosity is killing me. Fortunately, I'm not a cat. Yeah, curiosity killed the cat. I am including screenshots from Flight Radar 24 that might hold some clues. I look forward to hearing the possible scenarios. May APG live long and prosper. Thank you, Roberta. Appreciate that. So what do y'all think here? Why, after holding for an hour? Now, first of all, oh, okay, Captain Nick.
No, I'm doing live long and prosper.
Oh, I see. Live long. Okay. Well, we're going to call that a raising your hand too. You want to speak, so I'm going to let you start.
Oh, okay. Let me think about this. Diverting Ireland to Brussels. Okay. Ireland doesn't have a heap of decent airports, so they're all affected by similar weather conditions, and the only weather condition I could really see from the METARs that we've got here is a moderate southerly wind. So the 330's got quite a good crosswind capability. So I don't see an awful lot of really strong winds, but everyone else seemed to be going around, and I see no other reason, at least a lot of other airplanes going around it. Any particular reasons? The cloud base doesn't seem particularly low, so I can only assume it was the wind. Now, most UK airports have got east-west runways, so if you've got a southerly biased wind, then that is going to be a problem regardless. And sometimes you have to go further afield than you might like to find an airport where the wind is good. Excuse me. Belgium is not that far away in the big scheme of things, so yeah, Brussels might be an option. And what's more, if you're trying to get into a UK airport and you've got a problem, then diverting over the pond, no, not the pond, over the channel is a great way to find somewhere that might be acceptable. So we often used to, going to Heathrow, we'd often used to consider going to Paris or Amsterdam or whatever, or even Dusseldorf, or if we had problems with our home airfields, because often the weather over there is a completely different type, and you can often get away with it. So that's what I'm kind of assuming. They decided they couldn't get in. Now, of course, the reason because the 330's got a pretty good crosswind limit. The reason they might not have got in was there are some failures which dramatically reduce the amount of crosswind you can accept. So if they had one of those failures, then perhaps they were going, well, we'd love to land here, but we can't take the risk. They obviously had heaps of gas because they held for an hour before even deciding to divert all that distance. So they had obviously anticipated the perhaps the weather problems. And going to Brussels might have seemed the safest thing, and they would have negotiated with their ops people who would have discussed possible diversion airfields and often come up with one that's sometimes, a bit unusual because not many airplanes have gone there, whereas the closer diversion airfields might well have been packed out with aircraft that couldn't land.
That's a very good point. When it comes time finally to divert, then the divert airports that you had selected may not be able to take you at that point. So, Liz, go ahead and put up the METAR. By the way, I want to first say that I had to find because I suspected it had something to do with weather, but all the stuff that Roberta gave me didn't have the actual weather conditions. So it was not easy for me to find historic data, the 6th of December. It was several weeks later, and I'm thinking, well, I figured it would be easier to find this historical METAR data, but I found it. And then around so the highlighted area is around the time that they were in the Dublin area and holding and that kind of thing. And as Captain Nick mentions, it's not really big. The winds aren't really that strong. Now, if you look right before that period, there was much stronger wind that was gusting to 32 knots. Again, probably still within the limits of the 330. But we don't know exactly what was happening with the airframe. They may have had some restrictions as well. And then after that highlighted period, again, the winds kind of creep up and are pretty high again. And so one of the things that you have to consider also is the fact that they weren't the only airplane in the sky at the time trying to land at Dublin. And so you have a stack of airplanes and you have to kind of take a number. And so, maybe they were delayed a little bit and had to hold a little bit longer just to allow for some of the other people to get in. And it may have been a situation where the reason why half of them got in was because the winds were a little bit lower and it was a landable situation. And then when they attempted or some others attempted to land, it was and I've been in those situations before where why is it that only half of the airplanes, half the flights made it in, and it was all around the same time frame. And well, because the winds are not nice and steady all the time. They're gusting and everything else, and it's just when you happen to be executing the approach and final approach and landing, it may not be optimum conditions at the time. So that's another thing to kind of throw in there regarding the weather aspect of this situation. And as far as going to Brussels, I don't know. I don't know much about Aer Lingus. I don't know if they have any kind of facilities that would help facilitate passenger handling and all that kind of stuff. Or perhaps the crew is going, what, we're going to have to, we're going to, run out of flying time. So I heard that the restaurants and other amenities in Brussels are nicer than some of these other options.
Absolutely.
So,
let's go to Paris. Much nicer there.
There you go.
Actually, this probably doesn't have anything to do with it, but I was wondering if there's any consideration because they're both EU countries. Probably not.
No.
But,
I don't know.
Could be. But shouldn't make a difference, quite honestly. But it depends who. Sometimes your passenger load makes a difference, whether they can be dealt with by the EU or the receiving country or not.
All right, very good. Well, that was a great question you posed there, Roberta. I'm not sure we came up with the definitive answer, but there were at least some things to consider as to why they made the decision to divert to Brussels. Let's see, number 8. Okay, Peter Tarantelli. I think he's with us in our live audience. Yep, there he is. He's been chatting along with our other live
hovering,
chatters.
lurking.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. Now, many of you, when you're at the beginning of the show, you hear me introducing Liz. You'll notice that some of the highlighted talents in her intro have to do with spreadsheets and the fact that Liz is a spreadsheet master. So I'm thinking this might have something to do with why Peter decided to send in this feedback. And he said, this is the Excel championship. And Excel, like in the spreadsheet program from Microsoft, Excel. Celebration time. Oh, that's cute. Toronto Financial Modeling Director Michael Jarman. Oh, I thought it was Michael Jordan. Oh. Won the 2024 Microsoft Excel World Championships in Las Vegas, defeating three-time champion Andrew the Annihilator Nagai.
I'm just going to file this under the list of things that I didn't know were things.
Yeah.
No idea there was a Microsoft
things.
Excel World Championships.
There are a lot of things out there, Steph, that we have no idea about. What'd you say, Liz? Wow. That is bizarre.
Can you, if you tune in to watch, do you get paid?
Counts as continuing education.
Let's see. So Toronto's very proud of Michael Jarman. He wins the 2024 championship in Vegas. The Canadian is the new world champion. It was down to the final 30 seconds at the championships in Las Vegas, and the crowd was going wild. Canada's Michael Jarman was in the lead, his eyes fixed on the scoreboard, desperately hoping nobody would come up from behind and snatch victory from his grasp. When the clock ran out, Jarman leapt from his computer, threw his hands up in celebration, and picked up his computer and threw it into the audience and injured several in attendance. No, just kidding. He didn't do that. As the spectators in the HyperX arena erupted in cheers. Yeah, and it goes in a little bit more detail about the championships. Oh, who has a question? Neil? Okay, does the financial modeling contest have a swimsuit round? I hope
not
so.
sure I want to see that round, Neil.
Yeah, probably not. What are you saying, Steph? You're not saying that nice, attractive people like you with can't be
I wouldn't want to see myself in a swimsuit competition.
Yeah, well, you might get a
Well,
lot
they've
of chili
got
in
some
there.
very attractive presenters there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, you're looking at us on the sidebar there, Neil, Nick.
That must be.
Yeah, we're the co-hosts. I do like the championship belt, Liz. That's for sure.
Why is it
Can you imagine?
green?
Excel is green. Like all the Excel logo stuff is green.
yeah,
Like
that
Word
makes
is
sense.
blue, Excel is green, PowerPoint is orange.
I can see Liz
well, that's a
strutting
bit of a
around in
worry
that.
that you
Showing
knew
my
that,
nerd
Steph.
side there.
Yep.
Oh no.
Wow. So, man, I am so happy, Pete, that you sent this article in. That's pretty amazing.
Yep.
But see,
He's
that
definitely a
just goes to-
Canadian, isn't he? That bloke.
No, he's not.
He's not
No,
a Canadian.
He's up in upstate New York. Yeah.
All right. Well, he's got a fine beard.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Peter.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, the championship. Yeah. Oh, he's a Canadian from Toronto. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Peter, for sending that in. And it just goes to show you that people that listen to our show, I mean, they think about us all the time. And when he came across this article, he was thinking, there's a link to APG there and producer Liz and her spreadsheet mastery.
Another thing to do on my Las Vegas layovers.
There you go. You never even thought of that, did you?
Oh, man, I did not. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like it's right around early December every year. So
okay,
put that
very
on your
good.
calendar.
I'll put that. Yeah, put that in my bids.
Well, do an Excel spreadsheet of your results on the slot machines. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, that would be it.
Look forward to that. Okay, it's time to
that
wrap
would
it
be
up.
good.
Liz
Yeah.
says. All right.
God for that.
Let's point you to our website,
Let's put Nick out of his misery.
as we always do. And a lot of good stuff over there. Some of it valid, some not. But, we'll let you figure it out. And we're also on social media, or what I like to call the social meds. And Dr. Steph, I think you're really the best at doing this. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, I'll take that as a badge of honor, I suppose.
It
If you
is.
would like to find us on,
I meant it as such.
I was thrown off by you throwing Captain Nick under the bus of not being good at it, but
Well, that just shows him that I love him.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, if you would like to find us on the social medias, there are a couple places in which you can do so. We can suggest facebook.com/airlinepilotguy, X, we're at APG Crew, and find our individual handles pinned to the top of that page. If you really just want to see Captain Nick's artwork for each show, that's on Instagram, instagram.com/APG Crew. And if you would like to watch the recordings of the shows or join the live audience, youtube.com/@airlinepilotguy/streams. But as always, if that's not enough, hopefully Hillel is in warmer weather areas as well, staying with Captain Jeff in his
this is the part of the show
RVS
where
bathroom.
I alienate my neighbors close by here when I start yelling. All right, so let's hear the water running. Yeah, I hear it. Okay. Hello? Hello, can you tell us about, what is it called? Slack. I just had a brain fart. Like, can you tell us about Smack?
The thing
The thing that you,
that you
put
tell
together
us
for
about?
us and
Yeah.
and manage and all that kind of
Organize.
stuff? Okay. Well, tell us about what the heck is Slack?
APG listeners, please join us on our Slack team. Slack is a communication, coordination, and sharing platform that works on your mobile, laptop, or browser. On Slack, we share news and ideas, we suggest episode and plain tales topics, we plan events and meetups. To get into the Slack team, please email me at slack@airlinepilotguy.com. That's SLACK, Sierra Lima Alpha Charlie Kilo @airlinepilotguy.com, or send me a tweet with your preferred email address to @Hillel, and I'll send you an invitation. That's Hillel, spelled Hotel India 11 Echo 1, and see you in Slack.
Thanks a lot, Hillel.
Can you get me a roll of toilet paper?
No, I don't have any. I really don't. No, actually, I do. Because after Steph visited my RVS in Oshkosh, she said, "Jeff, you need to get some toilet paper."
There's a bidet.
Was that after she used it all?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Probably something I shouldn't share. Sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah. So thank you, Hillel, for telling us all about that that quasi social media thing. Many people not really sure exactly what it is, but check it out. And yeah, thanks, RJ, for making time to come and hang with us.
Nice to
and
see you again, RJ.
Yeah,
give
likewise.
us
Thank you.
some of your expertise, and
I don't know how much of that I used.
Well, just play along with us here.
50%.
50%, yes.
Yeah.
I'll put in some in post edit some really clever things.
Oh, very
make
good.
It sound like you.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Very good. Good. Thanks. And thanks for
And,
the ideas for the layover, too.
Oh yeah, sure. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's right.
You can thank Peter for that, actually.
That's right.
And also, we'd like to thank our producer Liz, who does an amazing amount of work in the background, and she also helps me as my personal dispatcher. Helps me figure out where I'm going and navigating and where to get diesel and all that stuff. So thank you very much, Liz, for that.
My pleasure.
And yeah. I guess with that, we're just going to sign off and say, wishing you all clear skies, unlimited visibility, and tailwinds. Take care, and God bless.
Cheers, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Ba-doom.
Boom.
All right.
Alrighty, that was great,
Alrighty.
you guys.
Let me
Yeah,
see
it
if
was
I
good.
can stop the
Oh, look
recorder
at
before
Zeta's
anybody
with
asks
Nick.
me to.
Nick's giving Zeta a treat there.
She's finishing
And
off the
Truman is-
peanuts.
Like half barking, like making a terrible attempt.
Oh, I can't hear him at all.
There she is. She's so beautiful.
And then I'm going to hit that. And then
Are you beautiful? You're not really, are you? Horrible. Usually stink of cow poo.
Oh,
You can be beautiful and stink of cow poo.
Yeah.
Those are not.
I mean, they're
Can
not
you
mutually
things.
exclusive. Yeah, exactly.
Can
you know.
you? I'm not sure about that.
And do you object to me telling everyone that? Is that the problem?
You know, you're beautiful, but if you smell of cow poo stuff, I think that I would have to leave.
It's a good thing this is just audio visual medium here.
Yeah, no smell-o-vision.
No smell-o-vision.
Yeah, especially
Well,
with that
you only have to
Dreamliner-
imagine.
Especially that Dreamliner thing.
Yeah, that Dreamliner
Okay, so
discharge.
possible titles, Nick. I've got a few. I don't know if the chat room has some too. In regards to the Atlanta situation, Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice.
Hang on a minute. Let me write these down. I was just cleaning my glasses. Fire and Ice. Yep.
Reject and Slide. Instead of Slip and Slide, it's Reject and Slide. And then we had the plane that had the gear collapse. So a plane praying, a praying plane. Something to do with a plane praying. And then we had IHAL boxes Papyrus, which I thought was kind of funny actually.
Papyrus, yeah.
Papyrus.
Yeah, I think we kind of had several dog-related things on this show. So.
Right, Papyrus. And then someone talked about the Bad Boys of Aviation, which were you guys on the show there, the Bad Boys of Aviation. So that's all I got.
That's all you got.
Okay, well, I got aborting and evacuating. Going green, slip and slide, type 4, Dreamliner effluent, and then the ones you came up with. So thanks, everybody. I'm sure I can do something out of that.
Can't wait.
Was it so aborting and evacuating was the Dreamliner the evacuating?
It could be.
Well, it
also.
was the 7.5 aborting and the Dreamliner evacuating.
See, I was trying to make it like when you said evacuating, I'm thinking like evacuating the bowels of the airplane.
Yeah.
You guys are on the same.
It's a different type of evacuation, but evacuation nonetheless.
We could combine those evacuations if you like.
Oh, look at now IHAL boxes has combined them into rejaculating.
Rejaculating.
They rejected and they evacuated. So.
Oh my goodness, that's a dangerous one right there.
Yeah, that's
kind of scary there.
I've just realised that there's two types of evacuating we're covering, so I could do the back end of an aeroplane evacuating with slides attached. That might work. We'll see.
And then some dogs.
Yeah,
that's right. Mailman is here
Marin
probably.
has another
Oh
one
no,
here.
no, we love hearing the dogs. That's great.
APG excels.
APG excels. That's a cute
Perfect.
one. Nice name, Marin.
The APG
Oh yeah, well done.
Marin, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Peter says that's going to be on the APG OnlyFans.
OnlyFans page.
Rejaculating.
Oh gosh.
That would be a
I
scary
think
place.
Captain Nick needs to get to bed. It's after midnight over there. So
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, I'm turned into a pumpkin already.
Good night,
I have
everybody.
dinner waiting, and I need to
All right.
pack for
Everybody
Chicago.
Cheers, folks.